Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast, the podcast where once a year we talk about music. Today is that day. My name is Dallas, and according to my YouTube music recap, my favorite type of music is when people are aggressively insulting each other.
Hi, my name is Gabby, and man, I could have told you listen to battle rap with no music.
Yeah, 100%.
No beats, just silence.
Just aggression.
I'm Cassie, and I realized that Demi and I have a significant crossover in gay or bisexual women.
Also obvious.
That's fascinating. And I'm Demi, and I talked about music more than once last year, which is why this was the hardest list for me for once. Usually music is not my hardest list, but this year I had the hardest time. In fact, I literally just rearranged my list 2 seconds ago. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, fan cast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture related items. Come for the movie reviews, stay for the thirst. A lot of people on my list are worthy of thirsting after. Today, we will be discussing our top 10 favorite music artists of 2024.
Yes, we will. Before we do that, please like, please share, please subscribe, please hit buttons and such. I don't know how these things work anymore. Because why not, right? Just do it. Also, in case you're starting with, what is this, number 4 of our recaps this year?
Number 4.
Yeah, in case you're starting with number 4 and you haven't seen the rest of them, this is how it works. We have a list. Sometimes there's overlap. Cassie and me both like women who like women. So let's say, the example isn't going to be that. I don't know why I led with that. But let's say number 9, Cassie has that AI version of Tupac that Drake used on that one song. And for number 1, Gabby has that AI version of Tupac that Drake used on that one song. Then Gabby would say skip, and then we would wait until number 1.
Dallas, I know that you usually
That one was truly terrible.
but that one could get me killed.
I had to
Not here, but if I come back to visit, I could die.
to think of something because
That none of us would pick.
normally it's just like, yeah, like with music it's harder because there's so much range, and I don't know who everyone dislikes as much.
True. We all,
So I had to pick something extremely ridiculous.
well, right now, we all dislike Drake. You know, we're from LA. That man's music's
Exactly.
not being played here.
I mean, I don't
know if I'd go as far as to say I
don't have
dislike
feelings
that
on
man,
I always-
but-
I think we can all agree that we dislike that he used Tupac's version, Tupac's voice
Absolutely.
with AI
That
to
is
diss Kendrick Lamar.
100% true. That's
Yes.
that's
indefensible.
disgusting.
Hence the example.
Perform a seance like a real artist, you hack.
Just bring him back.
All right, guys, let's get into this because I don't know how many skips we're actually going to have today outside
I
of
feel
me
like
and
Dallas
Cassie.
and I are going to have at least
So,
one.
Dallas.
At least one.
I mean, me and Dallas will also have one. Dallas, what's your honorable mentions list?
My honorable mentions list is number 1, Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine.
Jermaine Cole. I also have Killer Mike, who was number 1 last year.
Killer
So like, man,
Mike.
going from 1 to honorable mention, not great. And then we have No Worries, Rhapsody, and Earth Gang.
Gabby,
Yes.
do you have an honorable mentions list?
I do.
Oh, okay, because last year you didn't.
Yeah, no, last year I was struggling. I was not listening to music. Alrighty. So my first is
Get your life together.
I did. Oh, I got a full list and I got honorable mentions.
Damn.
Alrighty.
Love that.
All right. So my first honorable mention is Addison Rae with that earworm ass song Diet Pepsi. Like, girl, wait to get that stuck in my head. 2 is Taylor Swift, Just for Being You, Girl. Tortured Poets is not my favorite, but I still love that she released this year. It gave me something to look forward to. I was really excited about it. And there's a little bit something there for me.
There's 31 songs. There's got to be at least a few in there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's if you listen to the deluxe.
Yes. I did listen to the deluxe. I was
so
like, if
did
I'm
I.
going to get it, if I'm going to listen to this album, I'm going to listen to the whole
I'm going to
thing.
listen to every single one.
Exactly. And the last one is my adorable baby, because my baby sings all the time and she be putting out some hits. They're just for me, but
I love this. I need to rearrange my list.
ooh, I'm gonna send you.
You didn't want to put her in the top 10, though?
Listen, that felt like I was gonna get yelled
Wow,
at.
actually, though.
I felt like I was
Actually,
like, if I put her as my number 1,
you
y'all,
said
we're gonna
not
be
good
like,
enough for the
that's
top
not
10.
real, Gabby. You can't do that. But if I do honorable mention,
Full nepotism, Gabby.
Yeah, but you can do whatever the hell you want.
yeah. Ooh,
It's your
This
child.
is the Wild
that's
West.
true. I
gave
made
birth
her
to her.
myself. Well, mostly myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my adorable baby.
I know what the answer is, Cassie, but I have to ask, do you have any honorable mentions?
So my list is at 19, but no, I
What?
don't have
Girl.
any honorable mentions.
Girl.
I believe you.
I'm disappointed I couldn't crack
Girl.
20. Well, I could, but it would just go on the honorable mentions that I'm not naming, so it doesn't matter.
So 11 through 19, you're just not going to shout out. That's how it works.
You ask me this every year. You say it exactly the same way every year. Yes.
Just
It does happen every year.
What if you just read 11 through 15? Don't say they're honorable mentions, but just tell us who they are.
Well, no, that's no.
Okay. Sorry for
We tried.
We try
Tried to
every
get you
year.
a shout out.
See, they can't be offended because they don't know who they aren't. I guess.
Oh man.
All right, guys. My honorable mentions list is Travis Garland for Western Fields demo tapes and his You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch cover.
Ooh.
Chase Atlantic for their recent album Lost in Heaven. Tyla for her debut album, Tyla. Tinashe for Quantum Baby. And Taylor Swift for the Tortured Poets Department.
Very nice.
Taylor Swift's not in your top 10.
I told you it was a very hard year this year.
Yeah, dude.
Camila Cabello was
I'm
not even on my honorable mentions, and she's one of my favorite artists of all time.
That's
so
crazy. And
flabbergasted.
also, like, this is the first year Taylor Swift's not on either of our lists in like 3 years, I think.
yeah. I think we've had her on there for like every single time. She's really something.
Yeah.
So it was a good year for music.
Twas. Casey
Well, all right.
Musgraves is normally on my list, but I did not listen to that album. I didn't get to it. Ooh.
I'm still not even certain that this is a finalized, confirmed list, but it is for this podcast. So
I agree with you. Yeah,
Fair.
there was a lot of music this year, and my baby started singing like crazy.
Dallas, what's your number 10?
Number 10. So, for various reasons that we talked about off mic that are none of your business, audience, we said that we were going to try to make this a quick one. And the great thing about the way I listen to music is that a lot of times I'll have a few people that I'm like, yo, I love them. They're so good. I have so much to say. And then the rest of them just like, this is good. So number 10 is Corday for his album, The Crossroads, which recently came out. My favorite songs are 210s featuring Anderson .Paak, Summer Drop featuring Anderson .Paak, and 06 Dreamin'. Yeah, Corday just rap.
Damn it! I wanted a 3P.
I know. That is one thing I will say. Besides, he just raps really well. He has a couple of collabs with Anderson .Paak this year, and they always work really well together. Like on his first album, they worked together. He worked together a couple times on this one. They bring out the best in each other, and I love it. Corday just raps really well, and I enjoy his music.
Yay!
Gabby, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Mr. Jermaine Cole for Choosing Peace.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. That's hilarious.
Let me read what I wrote. I was like, J. Cole for bowing out the beef and having a peaceful ass year. Good for you, Jermaine.
Did you actually listen to any of J. Cole music this year?
Yeah, I listened to the diss track, and I was like, damn. And then he was like, JK, and I was like, good for you. I know a lot of people were like clowning
That's
him,
hilarious.
and like they were making fun of him for it. But I was like, nah, he actually did the braver thing. It's braver to admit, like, hey, man, I fucked up. Let me peace out.
To shoot J. Cole some bail, I think what happened, and a lot of people have theories, is that Kendrick took some shots and he was like, all right, bet, this is what
Yeah.
we're doing. And then he realized, oh, these two niggas hate each other. And like, these are my friends. I don't hate either of them. I just wanted to rap with some people. And Kendrick was probably like, hey, man, I want to kill him.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's the vibe that I
This
also
isn't my
got.
situation.
J. Cole
Yeah, I need
just
to
wanted to
back out
have
of
a
this.
friendly competition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, let's spar.
Once you get to like, hey, if you come to Oakland, you gonna die. I feel
Yeah.
like that's what I'm like. All right, I'm out. Like that don't
Ooh,
involve
it's
me
giving
anymore.
MC
Yeah.
Hammer.
He was like, oh, we having a sparring session? They're like,
No, they were like, nah. No,
this
that's
is a
not what
death
this
battle.
is.
This is
I
not
want that
spawn.
man
No, like I'm trying to ruin his career. But honestly, that's why, because he took a lot of heat for that, and I respect it.
He did. Also, I would just say, since Gabby's not going to say it because she can't, because she didn't listen to it, his mixtape is good. My Delete Later is actually good.
Ooh,
Yeah. So listen to it since he's on your list.
I know.
Gabby's about to go
Hey.
look that up.
Incredible.
I'm about to listen to. I mean, I love him, so
Yeah, it's great.
I should be listening to more
Jermaine.
of his music.
Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine. Yeah. Cole. Yes.
Man, he
I don't even
released-
listen to J. Cole like that, but that's one of my favorite jokes of all time.
great-
It's so
I
good
love
when he
that
started
video,
putting
so
the
great.
button-up shirt on.
I'm not supposed to be here, man.
Man,
You can go, dude.
oh, I love Supreme. Shout out to Supreme Dreams. I love you.
Oh,
Yes.
so good. Cassie, what's your number 10?
Hi, my number 10 is a group called, I guess it's just Voila, because that's how it's spelled, like the word.
Okay.
It is French. I don't know why it's French because they're from LA,
Because French is
Maybe.
cool.
and I don't think they're French.
Phoenix is from France, and they sing in English
Some
too.
people believe that.
Weird things happen.
You know what? You got me there. Respect. Anyway, I look up genres now because I don't know genres. They're apparently a rock pop duo, or no, pop rock. I don't know why whatever. But they came out with a double album called Glass Half Empty, and it slaps. Most of it is about being sad because you can't be with the girl that you want to be with. But you know what? There's also admitting that you fumbled her at one point, so that's on you, dog.
Mood.
All right. All right.
I understand
But yeah, it slaps. We love a double album, especially when all of it is great. And it is, even though I started listening to it like a week ago.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that. I love pop rocks.
About a week ago.
About a week ago.
I think I might get skipped on this one. Maybe. My number 10 is Sabrina Carpenter for Short and Sweet.
Skip.
I knew it. I was like, if I'm getting skipped, it's by Gabby. All right, let's take this to number 9. Dallas.
Number 9. My number 9 is Doechii.
Yo, I love
who
her.
I became a fan of this year.
Me like this week.
Not this week
Doechii's great.
specifically.
She put out an album this year called Alligator Bites Never Heal, and the hip hop world went crazy. And I'm so glad because it's really good. And I'm always happy to have another woman rapper to listen to because, oh boy, that field is not very diverse. It is, but not in terms of like mainstream recognition.
Yeah.
I get into moods where I'm just like, I want to listen to like just black women.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to find exactly what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're looking in like rock, it's so hard.
Ooh, yeah.
And that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Please point me to more black women artists.
Mm-hmm.
You should listen to Doechii.
Okay.
She's a black woman artist. And she's great. Like, her flow is great. Her beat selection is great. Her style is great. She's creative. She's weird. She's just super dope by circumstance and happenstance and all the stances. Kayla and I ended up at Camp Flognaw this year, which is Tyler, the Creator's music festival.
Mm-hmm.
And Doechii was there.
Ended up. Was this not planned?
No.
Not really. Kayla works for a company that was slanging food there. And
Slanging.
yeah, they were like, hey, we can get you guys wristbands and blah, blah, blah. So one day Kayla was like reading me a list of names. I was like, do you know these people? And I knew some of them. She was like, yeah, they're going to be at Flognaw. I was like, oh, I've heard of that. She was like, yeah, it's happening. You want to go? And I was like, sure. I like Doechii.
That was why Dallas missed out on the oh my gosh, what review was that me and Cassie did on our own that one time in recent weeks?
Got
It
it.
was the last couple of months.
That one.
I think
Whatever
it
that was.
the Penguin review, actually.
Ironic.
Yes. But yeah, we got there just in time to see Doechii on the main stage shaking ass, and it was a great time.
Good for her.
Because in addition to rapping well, she also shakes ass very well.
She
So,
does.
best of both worlds.
I've seen it.
We love Doechii.
I've only heard a few of her songs thanks to our music league that we do every week. And so far, my favorite one has been Spooky Coochie, I believe it was called.
Yes, Sydney pops into the music league like once every few months, drops a Doechii song, and then forgets
Dips
to
out.
vote in time.
I love Sid so much for that.
She's great. We love you, Sid. If you're listening, you're probably not, but we love you.
Well, now we have to tell her to listen to this one.
Like I said, Doechii's weird. She has songs like Spooky Coochie. But my favorite songs this year were Catfish, Denial is a River, and Skip. Also, Tiny Desk. She did the Tiny Desk, and it's freaking awesome. Like, I don't watch a lot of Tiny Desks, but hers is one of the best ones I've seen. She had a band made up completely of black women who all had braids with beads at the end, like the same kind of braid style.
They had the same pattern.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the background vocalist, the drums, keyboard. I'm just listing instruments. I don't know exactly who was there. But every band member had the braids. And I was just like...
her Stephen Colbert performance.
Culture. I didn't even see that.
The Stephen Colbert, she and her two backup dancers are dressed exactly the same, including with her. She has this like gag that she's doing with like face tape, where like you can see where it's attached and everything, and she has braids. It's I love it so much. It's a beautiful commentary. But so they also have the face tape, and they have extremely long I don't think they're micro braids. They have like very long braids, and the braids are attached. So they're doing all the dancing, and they're all attached to each other, and it's. The talent, the precision, and she's going full stop. It's you got to watch that performance. It's amazing.
I'm gonna find it. She's an artist. Also, last thing I will say, Doechii, on the off chance that you hear this, release the song. I think it's called "I Told Them." That was in the trailer for Wendell Wild like 2 years ago, because that's the first time I heard of you, and I was like, I gotta find this song, and the internet was like, no, you don't.
Oh
and
no!
I have never been able to find out where it is, and it's not released to my knowledge, but it's in the Wendell Wild trailer.
Yo, it's time to pull up LimeWire, man. Remember LimeWire? We got like the Beyonce dude. We used to get like the Beyonce cut of My Boo on LimeWire. It was like,
I think that's how people got the T-Pain cut of Cyclone. There were people out there who were like, that's not the official version when T-Pain put that clip out on Twitch or Instagram or whatever years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, LimeWire was wild. It was like people at the record company were just uploading shit, and then like we were finding it on LimeWire and also murdering our computers.
Oh yeah,
My computer was fine. I was very careful.
Mine was not.
As you should be. Also, you don't watch the things that a lot of us were watching back in the day.
On LimeWire?
Everything is on
that where
LimeWire.
I was looking
you
at
would
music.
download that?
I was
I
looking
didn't
at
have
music
LimeWire.
too.
So someone that I knew in the past life tried to get Pineapple
Past life.
Express,
Oh.
and we were about to watch Pineapple Express, and it was not Pineapple Express.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, you have to
But in
tell us
fairness,
who
that
it
doesn't
was.
really
Oh my God, you
that
have to
doesn't
tell us
really
who this
apply
was.
to what I said, because they weren't looking for porn. Porn found them. They were looking for Pineapple Express.
And on that note,
Yeah.
Gabby, what's your number 9?
LimeWire's a minefield.
Okay, my number 9 is Bruno Mars. Hey. Bruno Mars had 2 big collabs this year that I was like, oh my God, he's a genius. He puts out hits. The first one was Die With a Smile with Lady Gaga. Love that song. It's amazing. Love it so much. And the second one was APT with Rose. That song is catchy as hell. Oh my God. Love it. Love Rose. Love Bruno Mars. Thank you so much, Bruno, for those 2 amazing collabs this year. Like, just off those 2 is why you're on my list. Thank you so much.
Cassie, what's your number 9?
I want to live in Gabby's mind. I just like, I'm gonna put this artist on my list. I ain't gonna listen to him. No, like, Gabby, how do I become you?
The rest of us are looking at full albums, and Gabby's like, they put out these 2 songs this year.
Listen, there are some albums on here too that I listen to. It's just,
She was like, J. Cole didn't get in the rap beef this year, so he's on my list.
dude.
Gabby
was
finds
iconic.
reasons that are not musically related.
That was iconic.
I love it.
Except for, Bruno Mars put out 2 great songs, and they were awesome, and
Like,
they're stuck in my head.
You remember when Jack Harlow was on her list last year just because of the TikTok trend that was going around, not because she listened to the full album?
Which is crazy, because honestly, that's what happened this year with J. Cole, because Jack Harlow put out an album last year, and I listened to it, and he was
I know,
on my
I
list.
remember.
But she was like, nah, that TikTok sound, no.
That was amazing.
And same thing, like J. Cole put out an album, got on my honorable mentions, and then was like, I don't want to fight my friends. And Gabby was like, yes, number 10.
Exactly. What else do you need, bro?
Music.
It's a music list.
He's a music artist.
Cassie, what's your number
He's a
9?
music artist.
My child is also on this
So-
list.
What a time.
Like I said, I want to live in Gabby's mind. Anyway, my number 9 is a band called The Strike. And so I went on a little bit of a journey a few minutes ago where I was going to look them up because I was going to look up what genre they call themselves. And I found out that most of the band is Mormon. And now I know that.
Okay.
So I'm sitting with that knowledge. Not sure how I feel about it for
Yikes.
various reasons. But their music slaps. I guess I would call it like pop that's sort of majorly influenced by the 80s.
Okay.
And 80s music is pretty good. Not my favorite, but it's good. They put out an album this year, and the only thing is they did the thing that I don't like when it requires restraint from me, because a band puts out like almost all of the album as singles. Like, why bands be doing that? And I'm like, when you put out 8 tracks as singles on a 12-track album, like,
Just put out the
do something
album.
to the imagination. Damn. There's like another artist I found who actually, like, her entire album has been out as singles, and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they put an album, I think it's called like Dream Through Open Eyes or something, and it's good. It's really good. You should listen to it. I don't know how to talk about things in detail, but you should listen to the album.
I feel like that sometimes, but only when I'm on this podcast.
Yeah.
Only when a microphone is on.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess it's my turn. My number 9 is Billie Eilish for Hit Me Hard and Soft.
Skip.
Number 8, Dallas.
I hope all of Gabby's
A
skips
lot
sound
of
like
the
that.
skips are musical.
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
So like, people on my list don't make music, but I do.
Sir.
Listen, her kid has to get it from somewhere.
Fair.
Yeah, there's
Where are we at? Number 8?
8. Yeah.
Number 8.
Number eight is Mr. Joyner Lucas for the album Not Now, I'm Busy.
damn.
Favorite songs for the album are 3 Little Pigs, Broski, and 24 Hours to Live.
3 Little Pigs was dope.
I love that song. It's like probably one of the main reasons why he's on here. But speaking of that, for those who don't know, 3 Little Pigs is a song that is framed as him reading a bedtime story to his son. And the son is like, oh, I can't sleep. He's like, all right, bet. I'm going to read this story and then shut up and go to sleep. It's not what he says. So it starts with, so there were 3 little pigs that was all grown up, and they were drinking some hot coffee and eating donuts. It was a beautiful sunny day, some real perfect weather, and the pigs was dressed the same
I have a
because they all
feeling.
worked together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he goes on to describe the family of wolves that lives in the forest and gets profiled because they have sharp teeth and dark fur. And the pigs carry water guns. And it is a really obviously on the nose analogy, but it's perfect because it's framed as a story for a kid. And if we're being honest, it's not a bad way to introduce kids to this idea. Like, I listened to it and I was like, he's not saying anything.
You got to play that for your niece and nephew.
Probably. Like, he's not saying anything that's like too harsh. Obviously, where the story goes is like, oof, but that's where stories go with cops sometimes.
Yep.
But I'm just like, yo, this is genius. Like, he made this song about police brutality and he framed it as a bedtime story, and he flipped the story of the three little pigs. Like, the pigs chase the wolf and they get to his house. And at one line he says, the pigs got loud, said, "Get up out this house now, for I huff and I puff and I blow this house down." And I was like, wow, having like the pig say that, it's like, okay, Joyner, you a little author. I like it. But speaking of that, Joyner has a thing for telling stories in his songs. That's kind of his main thing. He like makes songs from perspectives of people and da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes it works better than others. On this album, I think it works really well. He has the other song, Broski, is my other favorite, where it's a conversation between Joyner and his friend. The whole song is from the perspective of Joyner's friend. And he starts bigging him up like, yo, man, thank you for everything you've done for me. You was there when I needed you. We've been homies forever. And then halfway through the song, he asks for some money. And it kind of takes a turn where his friend starts saying stuff like, you haven't really done enough for me. And like, oh, you think you're better than me because you could rap a little bit and you made it here. But like, I know everything that you did to get here. And it like takes this turn, like the beat becomes a lot more aggressive and like dissonant. He starts rapping with a different cadence and gets more aggressive. There's a music video, and the music video is a cinematic experience. Because it's like a dinner party and Joyner sitting at the head of the table and everybody's like laughing and blah, blah, blah. And the friend gets up to do a toast, and that's the premise of the song. And then halfway through, when it starts changing, like the lights flicker, the colors change. Everyone around the table is like, what's going on here? And then at the end, he gets to like, you know, getting really aggressive and like, you know, I hope you fail, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, but I love you, bro. Like, I hope you have all your success, and everything changes back. And I was like, this nigga Joyner is an artist. But yeah,
cinema, but like with
Joyner
music.
Exactly. Audio cinema. But yeah, Joyner's great. He was also in Bad Boys, the new one that came out. That was great. It's not music. I just wanted to bring it up. Yeah.
How was the song he did with Will Smith?
I was about to say, he also put out a song with Will Smith like,
oh yeah, like 2 days ago. That's who that was.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
By the time
It's
this
really
episode
good.
comes out, it'll have been a couple of weeks. But yeah.
True. Yes, we were recording in the past, but it's good.
Time is a construct.
That's also good. Time is a construct. The song is called Tantrum. It is Will and Joyner. And some backstory: Joyner made a song called Will a few years ago, where he raps about how he looks up to Will Smith, and Will Smith was like all these things for people who grew up when Joyner did, which is when I did, which is why I also love Will Smith. Sometimes you gotta slap people, but he uses Will's movies and projects in the song, and it's great. It didn't come out this year, so I don't really need to talk about it. But they became friends, and now they're collabing, and I love that for him. Anyway, shout out Joyner Lucas. He's great. That's my number 8.
Woo.
Gabby, who's your number 8?
My number 8 is Glorilla, who is having a year.
Glorilla.
I love her so much. So she put out an album this year, Glorious. I feel like she's been everywhere, but I think she's just having a really great promotional year for this album. Obviously, I love TGIF, man. It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. Hey, I can't sing any part after that.
She has a certain type of music.
She does, and I love her so much for it. Yeah, so TGIF is one of the main songs I'm listening to. What You Know About Me featuring Sexy Red and Let Her Cook. Those are my favorite. I mean, those are the ones that are very popular. Those are also my favorite for now. I feel like the more I listen to this album, the more it's going to grow on me. But those are my picks. And my number 8 is Glorilla. She's awesome. I hope she has a great year and continues to thrive. I love you so much, Glorilla.
I don't listen to a lot of Glorilla, but I have seen a video of her in that interview with that dude, Speedy, and her accent is wildly entertaining. Because hearing her say the phrase "beautiful spirit," oh boy, I can't remember. She's from Memphis or Houston. It's somewhere.
She's from Memphis.
If it's in Memphis, okay. And I got family in Memphis, so you know, if y'all are hearing this, sorry, but y'all accent is crazy.
Damn.
Also, Dallas Lore Unlocked.
Yeah, I got family in Memphis. You got a beautiful spirit.
Cassie, what's your number 8?
Damn.
gonna send y'all that video because it's
I've seen
No,
the
I mean,
video.
yes, I want to see it, but also I'm sorry to the people of Memphis.
no. It's not like the Baltimore accent where it's like it's crazy and I don't want to hear that. It's like this is a lovely accent.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to drag somebody else.
Have you seen that video of people from Baltimore saying Aaron?
Arr.
And iron. Aaron, earn, and iron, earn. Damn, what the fuck? We really talk like that?
I remember feeling so bad for them because they were like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Why would someone make them do this?"
Change their lives.
Cassie, please.
I'm
What is
also
your
sorry
number
to the
8?
people of Baltimore. Jesus. Someone's got to apologize for Dallas.
What's number 8,
You're
Cassie?
right. Somebody should.
I ain't trying to catch strays. My number 8 is Lawrence, which is, I guess, a band primarily made up of like family members who all have the last name Lawrence. So there you go.
Cute.
But they put out an album, and it's kind of like, I guess the closest I can think of genre-wise would be like funk, and it's excellent. White people can make decent funk music. Who
Wow.
knew?
Question.
Answer.
Does Lawrence have the song Do You Want to Do Nothing With Me?
Yes,
I love that song.
that is one of theirs. It's a good song. You should listen to the latest album. It's real good.
I might check that out. This is not the Lawrence brothers, right? This is like a different family.
No,
Lawrence. Got it.
This is a different family.
That makes sense.
Too many people with similar last names.
Common
Gotta work on that. They also do a thing that I really like for some reason, which is when people have like family members on their albums, but like not even necessarily singing. Like I think theirs is the last track is like a voicemail from their grandfather, which is funny because that almost exact thing will show up again on my list later.
It's gonna show up on mine too.
Hey,
Rappers do it all the
nice.
time. Rappers love voicemails.
Really?
Like it's their favorite thing. Like, oh, somebody left me a voicemail. That's my outro for my album.
Dude, Good Kid, Mad City is like all voicemails.
All voicemails.
Almost between every song is just like a really long voicemail. I love you,
Hands on
Kendrick.
his phone.
I love you so much,
wild.
It's
Kendrick.
great.
Oh,
It always works very well. Jack Harlow does it too, but Gabby didn't know that because the year that she put him on her list, she didn't actually listen to his album.
Oh, why are you like this?
Theme for Gabby.
Let me live.
Why are
Let
you
me
like
live,
this,
Dallas
Gabby?
Escobar.
It just came up.
See, here's the problem. Dallas can be very antagonistic, but he also is only working with bullets that we put in his chamber.
It's so
Thank
true.
you. Thank you,
So
Cassie.
true.
Sure, but
I'm not buying these bullets. You're handing them to me.
I'm just gonna keep using your full name after this.
All right, guys. Speaking of people who have their family members on their album, my number 8 is Beyonce for Cowboy Carter.
Hey, wait, family member? What?
Rumi's on there.
Her daughter.
Oh, duh. I thought you were related to Beyonce for a second.
It's like, what? I'm not on what?
I was
You know,
like,
this was how we found out that Demi is related to
she
Beyonce.
would
That
have
would
been
be a
shouting it from
crazy
the
way to find out.
Dude, yeah. Also, oh my God, I forgot about Cowboy Carter. I can't believe I forgot about it. Ooh, I'm a
Oh,
bad
well, I guess I'm
Beyonce
not getting
fan.
skipped then. Yeah,
No.
I really liked this album. I'm not really big on country music, as I've probably said in the past. Although, I feel like every year I have at least one country album on my list, which is hilarious.
Yeah, love me some
Or at
country
least like a
music.
country artist as like an honorable mention or something. But yeah, I liked what Beyonce put together. I didn't like this album as much as Renaissance, mostly because of genre purposes. Like I said, I'm not really into country, so this wasn't gonna be for me as much as Renaissance is. But I liked this like Western R&B type feel to it. I feel like if country sounded more like this, or if like more people made country music like this, then I would be far more interested in country music.
Yo, we need more black people making country music.
I love that. And there were so many on this album.
Yes, I was gonna say the Blackbird. All the singers in Blackbird are like black country singers.
Well, speaking of
Nice.
Blackbird, so my standouts from the album, my 3 are Blackbird, which features Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer, Tierra
Hey.
Kennedy, and Raina Roberts.
I
Levi's
love Tanner
Jeans, which
Adele.
features Post Malone and Yaya. Those are my 3
Yeah.
standouts. Those are the
Ooh.
ones I love. But there
I
are
love
also a
Yaya.
few more on that album that I could listen to over and over again and that are still on my playlist. I have a playlist that I call what I have officially changed the name to Ever Evolving playlist, which is just whatever I'm listening to at the time. So at any given point, I can take a song off, put a song on, and just for however long I'm listening to those songs, that's how long they'll stay on the playlist. And Beyonce has been on there since that album dropped. So, and I think Cuff It is actually still on there because Cuff It is just a fire
Iconic.
song.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 8 is Beyonce for Cowboy Carter.
Yeah.
It's a really dope album. And I think Billboard just named her like the #1 country artist of the year or something like that.
Because she is.
Oh, you know, white people about to be.
They didn't
mad.
invite her to the CMAs.
They
Rude.
still mad.
Billboard gave her something like, it was something big, like artist of the century or something. Of
Oh,
like,
she's
not,
she's the biggest pop artist of the 21st century.
Yeah.
yes. And let me
Yeah,
tell
it's not
you,
surprising.
there's a pocket of Swifties that did not take that well.
Well, they can suck it
Swifties,
because she
I
is.
love
Did they do
y'all.
it- was it like
I love
a-
Taylor Swift, but it
Was
is
it like a they
Beyonce.
rated, or was it like a based on like sales or?
I don't
It
know
was
what
based
it's
on like, I think the Billboard's like editorial staff. It
Oh,
wasn't
right.
numbers, because that was like Taylor Swift.
Okay.
You know, she got mad numbers, but this is our pick.
But
And,
also,
some of the
Beyonce's
Swifties-
been at it longer.
No,
She has a
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
like, what, 10 years on Taylor Swift?
That's the thing people are talking about. Like, yeah, this century,
Yeah.
like Beyonce's been doing this for a very
She's
long
been doing
time.
it for two of the centuries.
And just like she
Like 4
been,
decades.
I mean, it's of
she
the
made a
20 it's
whole
of the
visual
21st
album with
century, though,
Lemonade.
guys.
She did the
I know,
Lion
yeah.
King thing.
But
Just like
I think, I just think that Beyonce
she been hidden.
I think the impact is
Yeah, it's much bigger.
different.
And she's
Yeah.
ever changing and evolving.
She won. Well, I mean, so was Taylor, but regardless, Beyonce won top country female artist at the 2024 Billboard Music Awards. That's what it was.
Good for her. Also, yeah, that album, like, I listen to country music. Sorry, that album's better than anything else that's come out this year. Like, no offense, but it is. And it had more depth to it. And I'm going to be honest, I like Cowboy Carter more than I liked Renaissance. I think because I love Beyonce's, like, I love her voice. And I feel like this album was stripped a little bit back, right? Because it was country.
Definitely, it's not just a full pop album, which is what Renaissance is. Renaissance is definitely geared towards like a more club, pop, gay club atmosphere.
Yeah.
Than Cowboy Carter. Cowboy Carter is definitely back to like her Texas roots.
Yeah.
And she captures it really well. Also, Dolly Parton is all over this.
Dude.
Willie Nelson's
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shabuzi, she went crazy on this album.
Yeah,
and I think she did a really great job with it. Like I said, country just typically isn't my thing, which is why it's lower down on the list than like what Renaissance was when it was on my list. But it's still like such a good album, and like I loved going through it. Like on my first listen, I was like, oh, this is really great. Desert Eagle, come on now, so good.
Yep. Yaya and like Jolene.
I am not a huge fan of the Beatles, but her rendition of Blackbird, I could listen to that for days.
It brought me to tears. I cried. She did a really great job, and she brought some really amazing country artists together. And I love that she introduced a wider net to black country artists.
Yeah. Also,
like
Riverdance. Riverdance is an honorable standout mention because I love Riverdance.
It's just great album. Love her so much. I'm sorry that I forgot and didn't put her on our list. I'm so sorry, Beyonce. Please forgive me.
Well, I'm here to make
you
sure
made
that
up
we were
for
able
it.
to talk about the album. So
Yeah.
my number,
pop artist of the 21st century, and you forget her.
no, right?
I'm the
So my
worst.
number 8 is Beyonce for Cowboy Carter. That takes us to number 7, Dallas.
Number 7. So earlier, I talked about how aggression is my favorite genre of music. And Gabby was like, yeah, you watch battle raps. I ain't got no music. Speaking of those battle raps, number 7 is a battle rapper named Marv One. Ironically, he didn't diss anybody. He just made an album. He's good at making music. His name is Marv One. He made an album called I'm Fine, Thanks for Asking.
Aw.
And my favorite songs from it are intro track, I'm Fine, Thanks for Asking, Nosy, and Measuring Stick. We talked about voicemails and how rappers love voicemails. And it's funny because when I said it's going to come up on my list, I forgot about this one. It's another one. So this isn't even the one I was talking about.
Oh, amazing.
But-
Can't wait.
The intro starts with a slew of voicemails from different people calling Marv, asking him for things.
Oh.
These ones, I believe, are staged, just like, hey, call me and ask me for something. Because the best one is a guy says like, yo, man, I heard about so-and-so. He was asking you for like $60,000. That's crazy. I would never do anything like that. But if you got $59,999 in them things for me, that'd be amazing.
It's like the word you can't take more than $10,000 on a flight.
Exactly. Like, let me take like $9,999.99. Yeah. So Marv is funny. He has a good sense of humor in his battles and in his music, but he also, I've never listened to an album from him before this. He also has a lot of range.
Ooh.
Like, I'm Fine, Thanks for Asking is basically about everybody coming to me asking me for this and that, but like, you know,
Who's asking me how
hey
I
Marv,
feel?
how you doing? Like nobody, exactly. That's a great song. Also, Nosy is my second favorite song in the album. The concept is he couldn't sell dope when he was younger because his mom was too nosy. So,
What a problem to have.
but the hook is I couldn't sell dope because my mama too fucking nosy. Boy, what you doing with all this cash? I know damn well you ain't bringing that up in here. Who told you to treat my house like it's a stash?
Hey.
And I'm just like, What a song. I love this song.
I love that so much. Also, same kind of mother I am. I am no Z. I will be all up in your things.
Yes, your kid can never grow up to sell dope,
No.
which is good.
Yeah.
We don't want to sell.
No.
We don't need that in our family.
Nah, not even
You don't need
not
that.
even a pharmaceutical company. No.
But yeah, Marv is dope. That song is dope. He also has a song called Purple, which it brings the vibe down, but it shows his range. It's a song about telling a story of a woman who deals with abuse and how like it says like purple used to be her favorite color, but now it's not. It's a sad song. I don't listen to it a lot, but it's good. So if we're talking about music that is good, I have to mention it. But I'm just like, I'm gonna go back to the you couldn't sell dope because your mom was in your room. But if there's range. If you want sad songs, if you want songs about drugs, whatever you want, Marv got it. Or you can watch him battle rap people a cappella with no music. And that's Marv 1, my number 7.
Woo.
Gabby, who is your number 7?
My number 7 is the cast of Wicked, the motion picture.
Skip.
Hey.
Cassie, what's your number
Cassie.
7?
My number 7 is Taylor Parks
Ooh, good
for her
one.
album Many Moons, Many Suns, because it slaps, and I need to listen to more black people, and here she is. I don't know, like,
We love Lil Inez.
she makes some damn good R&B about a relationship that has failed, and she's sad about it. There's a whole song that's like, this would have been our wedding song, but didn't happen, so rip.
You used that in Music League, didn't you?
I think I did.
Yeah. 'cause
Yes.
I've heard of that.
What's
sounds
that song called?
Yeah, I think it's called either the wedding song or like, oh, this was supposed to be our wedding song. Yeah.
Okay, found it.
She's also just an extraordinary like songwriter. Like she's written songs for like a number of artists that I really, really enjoy.
Ooh, cool. You should listen to her album because it slaps.
I might. I've been a fan of hers since she was in Hairspray.
Oh, was she
Damn,
the little
alright.
girl?
Yeah, she's Lil Inez.
Oh. Oh my God, there's a song on this album called Emotional Support X. Shout out to Dallas. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Too real.
You don't think?
No.
You know what? I'm not going to go
No.
down that road because
That was a joke.
That's not a good
It
road
was
to go
just a
down.
joke.
Also, fun fact, she wrote Thank You Next with Ariana Grande.
Yo,
Turns out I am a
the
fan.
talent.
Love her.
She also wrote Seven Rings.
Yo, I really am a fan. I love that song.
Oh, High Hopes by Panic at the Disco.
Damn.
Love Lies by Normani and Khalid.
Wow.
Yeah, she's written a lot of songs, and I
Wow.
like I see her name often.
Ooh, you got a Grammy nom for Dirty Computer.
Also, good for her.
Hell yeah.
Get your bag. Those are some hits. That's buy my house and pay my bills for several years money for several of those songs.
Mm-hmm. And her own music is real good, like talent. But yeah,
All right, well that takes us to my number 7. My number 7 is the cast of Mean Girls because I've been listening to that soundtrack since January.
Yo, that was this year.
Since January of last year, technically, yeah. So I love that soundtrack. I have so much fun listening to it. Specifically, any track that's got Renee Rapp or Lee Carvalho or Jaquel Spivey on it. Like, from the moment that I was in the theater the first time I saw it, because I saw it 2 days before the movie came out, like, the moment that cautionary tale comes on and you hear Ali and Jaquel singing, oh my gosh, I was like, oh, they're so good. And like, obviously I knew Ali was very good because Moana, but you know, it's been 10 years since then. Her voice has grown exponentially and she's so good and so talented. And it was so fun to hear her in a musical that's not a Disney musical because that's, you know, it's a different style of singing. And also this Janice is, I love my little art freak. She's more of a kind of a pop rock, I guess, kind of style of singing, I would say. Ali's not going for like a musical theater sound, although she is very technically good on all these tracks. Same thing with Jaquel, who comes from musical theater. They both have such extraordinary voices, and when they do sing together, it's perfection. I think they sing Cautionary Tale together and Apex Predator together and Revenge Party. But then Ali also has I'd Rather Be Me, which is stunning, amazing, a vibe. I love that song. It is definitely an anthem. So my standouts from that soundtrack are Someone Gets Hurt and World Burn, which are both Regina George songs, sung by Renee Rapp, and I'd Rather Be Me, sung by Ali Carvalho. Someone Gets Hurt might be my favorite song from the soundtrack. I think most people are huge fans of World Burn because it's Regina George's big burn book number, and it's phenomenal. And Renee Rapp is a powerhouse, period. But I love Someone Gets Her. I love the lyrics on it, and I love kind of the perspective that it provides about the character of Regina George. My favorite lyric from that song is, "Poor little me, all trapped in this fabulous show. You could set me free, but if you're going, go." It's my favorite lyric in that song, but I think it's also my favorite line in the entire movie, because I love this idea of like Regina's singing it to Aaron, so obviously she's manipulating him so that he'll get back together with her. So she's like, I want you to feel sorry for me. I want you to feel bad for me. But I think that there's like a little nugget of truth in there. I think she does feel like she is this victim of having to perform for people. She has to be perfect for everyone, and she wants somebody to save her from that life. And I just think that's a fascinating thing to have about a character who for years we have just seen as like a quintessential mean girl with no depth to her whatsoever. One of my favorite things about the Broadway musical that they did was when she's talking to Katie at the end of the show, she tells Katie that the first thing that she saw when she got up from, or like when she got hit by the bus, is her mom and Gretchen looking down at her as if they couldn't believe that she could possibly be hurt. Like they didn't know that she could bleed. And I was like, oh, that's such an interesting thing about this character. She is put on like this godlike pedestal. So she feels like she can't be anything less than perfect. And so she lashes out at everybody around her. And I feel like that line from Someone Gets Her really like encompasses that. I think it's such a good line. And also I ascend every single time I hear Renee Rapp sing that song, whether it's the live Broadway version or if it's the soundtrack version. It's one of my favorite things. I love that song. It also sounds very James Bond-like. A thing I did not get to talk about last year about Renee Rapp, because I was only talking about her personal music, is one of the things that I really like about her is the way that she, like, obviously it's her voice, right? But the way that she portrays this character through music, vocally, I'm like, that's Renee Rapp, but that's not Renee Rapp, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, I can listen to her do musical theater and I can feel the character that she's playing, and it feels like somebody completely different than who she is when she's making her own music. And that's something that I really, really respect about her when she's doing musical theater versus when she's doing like her own personal stuff. Versus also her doing her rendition of Baby It's Cold Outside, which also doesn't sound anything like what she sings nowadays, but it does sound classically like musical theater and it sounds really good. But yeah, like the difference between how she sings a song as herself versus how she sings a song as Regina George, I think is very fascinating because they sound like different people, even if it is the same voice. Also, Renee Rapp did a promotional performance like the week after the movie came out on SNL, and it is it's one of her best performances that she's ever done.
It's so
like
good.
Her vocal arrangement on Snow Angel it's my favorite thing ever. It's my favorite live performance of Snow Angel that she's ever done. The vocal arrangement, the music arrangement, it's perfection. And I love it. And she also performed with Megan Thee Stallion, who was also on the soundtrack. They did a song together called Not My Fault, which I also adore.
Yeah.
And they performed that song. It's the only time they've ever performed it, and it is so hot and it is so good.
Yep.
And Cynthia Erivo said that's like probably her favorite performance that she has seen of Renee. So yeah, that is also a standout for me, was her getting to do that.
And who introduced her?
Oh God, it was so good. It was so good. Rachel McAdams introducing Renee Rapp for that performance was the icing on the cake of that press tour. Because like everybody thought that Rachel McAdams was just going to ignore everything about this movie. But no, she came out to introduce the new Regina George for this one performance. And it was great.
Yep.
And I loved every second of Renee getting to perform on SNL. It's also probably one of the greatest SNL performances ever, because SNL has a horrible reputation of having bad sound quality for their musicians.
Yeah.
They are notorious for having bad acoustics.
Yep.
So it is very hard to overcome it. And she had like a perfect performance.
Yeah. The way that set is built, it's like,
it is not made for live
it's not
music.
made for sound. It's just really wide and open and
It's
like,
made for sketches. It is not made for music.
No, it is very flimsily. No offense, SNL, but like it's just it's just like boards.
I'm sure they know this by now.
Yeah, put together. So it's really not made for music.
I also was really happy to be able to put the cast of Mean Girls, because like Renee Rapp had a great festival year. She spent a lot of time going to different festivals all year in 2024, and I watched her Coachella set. It was amazing. I watched a couple of other sets that she did throughout the year, and they were all so good. But also on top of that, Ali E. Carvalho also was in Moana too. So she had more music that came out. And obviously, I really enjoyed hearing her on that as well. And then Megan Thee Stallion also had an album that came out. So it's like the cast of Mean Girls and everybody on the soundtrack. Yeah, because multiple of these people put out more music than just this soundtrack. And it's all really good. And I highly recommend all of it. So my number 7 is the cast of Mean Girls. Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love her. That was a great album.
I love that soundtrack. Like, it's been a year and I'm still listening to songs from that soundtrack. So yeah, absolutely, it had to be on my list. And it's been on my list all year. So that takes us to number 6, Dallas.
So number 6, remember earlier when I talked about aggressive music? My number 6, it's time to get weird, guys. My number 6 is Glorb.
Yo,
Oh my
Glorb.
gosh.
I knew Glorb was about to be on your list. You listened to Glorb way too
and
much
they should
for
be,
not.
whoever they are.
So here's the thing about Glorb. Glorb is a mysterious YouTube figure who makes Bikini Bottom drill music. He writes the songs, he and his team make the beats, then he raps in his best approximation of the voice of the characters, and then he lets...
Wait, they're actually doing the voices?
So no, he raps as well as he can in the voice.
Okay.
And then he has a software change the voice to make it more like
Got it.
characters of Mr. Swags, Dankton, Sponge Op, Squidwalk, Notorious P.A.T., Sandy the Squirrel, ASAP Larry.
ASAP Larry. Yes.
ASAP Larry. The problem with Glorb is that most of his songs came out last year. I found Glorb this year, but all the best ones came out. Well, not all the best. You got a couple hits this year. There were 3 singles that came out this year. Trendsetter by Squidwalk, Mob Ties by Dankton, and Ocean's 11, which is by Notorious P.A.T. and Sponge Op. Oh, also Mrs. Puff is on Mob Ties.
Is she just called Mrs. Puff?
I don't know that she has a like
Rap
good name. Yeah, but I'm sure she does. But Glorb.
I love Glorb. Also the name.
It's ridiculous. When my YouTube music recap came out and like my top songs, I think 2 of them were Glorb. I was like, oh, I'm not surprised, but goodness gracious, SpongeBob diss tracks are a much bigger part of my life than I expected them to be. There's like actual lore.
There is.
We had an episode where I talked about it, but the audio didn't. There's Glorb lore. There's Glorb. We had an episode where we talked about it. I think something went wrong with that audio, so I don't think it ever actually came out. I'm not going to go through everything I did in that What You're Watching because, like I said, most of it applies to music that came out last year. But just know, at one point, Plankton kidnaps Patrick and brainwashes him to make a diss track about the Krusty Krab crew.
Wow.
They shoot Karen in the drive-by.
Yo.
He rebuilds her into a Gundam with a BBL. Sandy leaves SpongeBob, so he makes a country song called Can Gangsters Cry, and it's amazing. But the most important thing are the songs that came out this year. Mob Ties is a song where Plankton opens up a casino, and, it's I got money, I'll shoot you niggas. He doesn't say that. I'm pretty sure Glorb is white. None of his songs use the word nigga, and I appreciate that. And then to respond, SpongeBob and Patrick make a song called Ocean's 11, and the music video is a heist where they rob Plankton's casino.
Wow.
And it's fantastic. Also, in the casino is Dennis, that guy who was on our Hear Me Out cake.
Yeah.
I think JoJo put him on there. He's like the muscle for
I love it so much. This is crazy.
It's so crazy,
Glorb
but
stuff
like
is so funny and so good.
it's hilarious, but it's also weirdly good music. So
Also with really good SpongeBob references.
yeah, the references are on point. Like this dude clearly grew up with SpongeBob and references them in the way that we all reference SpongeBob.
No, bitch,
But,
this
like,
is Patrick.
That's my favorite. I think that's my favorite line. That's when he was brainwashed. He says, "How to wet is Goo Lagoon? I grab my mop because that's a hazard. Is this the chum bucket?
No,
Nah,
bitch, this is Patrick. Hey.
It's beautiful. It's so great. It's just so silly, but it's like these beats are really good. The bars are really good. It's like, why are you so good at this? But also, I believe a lot of people think that Glorb is a certain rapper. I can't remember his name. I wasn't familiar with him. But, internet sleuths are going to sleuth. But he is a rapper. He makes music. So it's like, oh, it makes sense that you could do this as SpongeBob characters because you just do this. But yeah, fantastic. Love it. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody because it's very vulgar and aggressive music.
Are you okay?
And it's really jarring.
Dallas, you okay?
We had a hangout night one night where we all just sat there and like watched a bunch of them, and they were so funny and so good. We had such a great time that night.
Such a great time. Cut a bitch off like the hash-slinging slasher. Karen pissed off because the squid wouldn't smash her. Like at the Bubble Bowl backstage like an actor. She want my bullworm like it came from Alaska.
Yo, that's some heat. That's some heat.
I love it. It's ridiculous and I love it. But yeah, I had a weird year from music.
Yup.
That's Glorb.
Gabby, when you get your laughs out, who's your number 6?
I'm so sorry. That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. It's so funny.
My number 6 is the tall, beautiful god that is Hozier. Irish god. Let me specify Irish god that's Hozier. This year he released an EP. It's called Unheard. It's 4 songs. I'm going to tell you my 2 favorites. My 2 faves are Too Sweet and Wildflower and Barley. I also heard, I mean, this was something he did years ago, but he sang just like a cappella, this Irish drinking song. And I was like, oh, why do you sound like you should be in like dressed up like a fairy in like a meadow? It's even wilder when you find out that this motherfucker is 6'5" and just, yeah, he is like a unit. And yeah, anyway, Too Sweet's amazing. The songs, I mean, it's all over the internets, you know, delightful. Wildflower and Barley is just, you know, just like a nice, sweet, like rocky blues song that low key, every time I'm surprised this man is Irish, because I feel like she should be from like, you know, the country in the US, but nope. Because he has like a lot of bluesy vibes until I heard him sing that drinking song. And then I was like, oh, yep, very Irish. Love him.
He's 6'5"?
Yeah, he's 6'5". You're not over this. Like, he is a unit, my dude.
No,
and has apparently mostly dated black women.
Good for him. Yo, that explains his music, because he be talking about women like there's a song called Moment Silence where he says, moment of silence when my baby puts her mouth on me. But also the way he talks about women. Anyway,
but also don't fully take my word for it. This is something I heard off the internet, so I don't personally know.
Fair. But goodness, good for him.
Speaking of the internet, my favorite thing is when people find out how tall someone is, and then they make one of those jokes like, apparently the dude who wrote Jurassic Park is super tall. So they're like, Michael Crichton or Crichton, I don't know what's his name.
Oh, Michael Crichton.
It's like that General Grievous video.
Oh God, not that one. They said, Michael Crichton, you should have been in the NBA. You was playing with the wrong Raptors.
I want to hear a joke like that about Hozier.
So I was gonna say, Hozier, you're 6'5". You singing all that "Take Me to Church." You need to take it to the hoop, Hozier.
For real.
Get your big ass on the court.
Why aren't you a hooper, Hozier? Because he grew up in Ireland. That's why.
They have basketball
like Quidditch or whatever.
Yeah, but
it's not the NBA, but they have basketball.
Yeah, but
it's like that. It's like that Adam Sandler movie we watched, Hustle.
Oh yeah. Well, that dude was like what, Spanish?
Oh, okay.
He was from somewhere in Europe.
If he was Serbian, it would make more sense, because my favorite dude that wishes he was a horseman and not a hooper. Joking. Just want to go home to his horses. He's like, damn, I want MVP again. No, take me home. What do you mean I got to be here for another week? Never winning again.
Cassie, anyway. Who was your number 6?
Jesus Christ. My number 6 is Shepherd. They're a band from Australia. They're a pop band that I love very, very, very much. And they put out an album this year called Zora. And I believe it's named after their grandmother. And a voicemail from her is the last track. So there we go. It came back. But yeah, I mean, they make like really bubbly, fun pop music. They were on Eurovision one year. Ooh. They did not deserve to win it, and they didn't. And that's okay. They made like a generic pop song. To win Eurovision, you got to get weird.
That's the vibe I got from the Eurovision Song Contest movie.
Yeah, I wish I could watch it and not feel morally bad about it, because it's so delightful. Anyway, yeah, Shepherd, I mean, I've loved them since their first album came out, and this album also slaps. And I wish they were not mostly in Australia, because then I could see them, but they're mostly in Australia because they're from Australia.
Oh, wait, how did they? Never mind.
How did they what?
How did they make it onto Eurovision then? Controversial?
No, it's not. Does Australia usually have an entry? I feel like they don't, but they must have done.
I thought it was only Europe.
Well, I guess not. I don't know, girl.
Don't worry about it.
Look this up later.
Yeah, we can Google it.
I'll look it up now. Trust me. Yeah, but now you've got me. How did they end up on your? Anyway, whatever. But their music slaps, and you should listen to it. Really, all I gotta say, because I don't know how to talk about things.
Same.
Mood. Moving on. My number 6 is the cast of Wicked.
Yo, let's talk about it. Ay.
Let's go. Gabby, start us off, because I need to text somebody back real quick.
You got it, ma'am. Already. So, first of all, I want to say I love Ari's performance, because it is not Ariana Grande. It is Glenda. So that was a nice surprise. Second of all, I love all of the runs and all of the sort of new spins, I guess I could say, that Cynthia Erivo brought to the music. It really livened it up, made it gorgeous. My favorite songs that I saw, because again, I did leave early.
Did you not listen to the soundtrack?
I mean, yes, but
Gabby doesn't listen.
I haven't wanted to listen to Defying Gravity yet. I want to see it in the movie. So I have not listened to Defying Gravity yet.
I plan to see it again before it's taken out of theaters.
And I will get a babysitter and I will go with you.
I saw it again last night. It's
girl.
all up.
I need to go for my third watch. But give us your favorites so far without having seen Defying Gravity.
Yes, Wizard and I, Popular, and Dancing Through Life. Dancing Through Life specifically because I did not know that Jonathan Bailey had pipes like that. And I'm really glad that he does. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
John.
somebody sent me a song that he did. Oh, I can't remember which Broadway show it is, but it is a well-known song for being hard to sing because there is not a lot of places to breathe.
Ooh.
And so somebody sent me that. And maybe I will put it in the liner notes or on the screen or whatever when I remember what it is. But it is a pretty infamous song that was written by, the guy who did Into the Woods. Why can't I think of his name?
Sondheim?
Sondheim. Yes, written by Sondheim.
Okay. Oh, that dude writes complicated. He writes some good stuff for the dudes. So my favorite riff was one of the ones in The Wizard and I with Cynthia Erivo. Love her. Thank you so much. And Popular was just the comedic gold that I was hoping it would be. Ari obviously is an amazing comedic actress. She brought so much to the role. Thank you so much. And back to you, Demi.
Yeah, musical. The music
like a
is
newscaster.
It is, yeah. The music is in this movie is like phenomenal. The fact that all of the singing on the soundtrack is live, like
crazy.
Cynthia's singing live, Ariana's singing live, like everybody is live singing on this record. It's the sounds that they caught on screen with mics on set. And it's beautifully done. Like Gabby said, Cynthia Erivo's rendition of like her portrayal of Elphaba through the music is beautiful. It quite possibly is now my favorite of any Elphaba's version of the music. I'm a riff girl. I'm a girl who loves me some vocal acrobatics. Like, please impress me with that stuff.
Yes.
I want to fawn over the fact that your voice can just do that and you can improv it on the spot.
Yeah. Show me your training.
Right? I was listening to or watching, I haven't finished watching it yet, but I was watching the interview that Cynthia Erivo did with Angelina Jolie. And they talked about how on set they had the so Ariana or Cynthia, whoever is singing the song, they would start singing the song and then the pianist would accompany them once they had started singing. So it very much was in the moment, however they feel like portraying the character at that moment.
Ooh.
And really getting to put whatever emotions they're feeling into the song at that moment in time. And I really like that. And I think you can really feel it, especially in I'm Not That Girl, because she starts it off so slow, because she starts it off in a way that we've never heard any Elphaba do before. I feel like in our heads, there's kind of a standardized way to sing wicked music, right? Because we've spent 20 years with the original Broadway soundtrack. Cynthia Erivo definitely deviates, but she does it in a way that still sounds wonderful and is still technically perfect. And also just imbues it with a different style, which I usually associate with R&B because that's really where you'll find a lot of vocal riffs and stuff like that. And you weren't going to get something like that without having someone like Cynthia Erivo play the role. Ariana Grande is amazing. I was obsessed with her music back in like 2012, 2013 when she first was getting really big for her music. Actually, before that, when she was mostly doing YouTube covers and stuff, I was obsessed. And I'm really glad that I was proven wrong about her in this movie. She was phenomenal. She was wonderful. I enjoyed the homages to Kristen Chenoweth that she would make in each of these songs.
Yes.
I also enjoyed just getting to hear Ariana Grande sing in a musical theater style and sing it in a way that she felt was right for her version of Galinda. And she did a phenomenal job. I mean, she's always had a great voice. I think a lot of people were concerned about her enunciation because that is typically an Ariana staple in some of her pop music is that she does not enunciate, and you don't really need to in pop music.
No, you don't.
But this is musical theater, and people were worried that she would bring that over to musical theater. And she didn't, because Ariana Grande knows her way around the show, and she knows her way around musical theater. She's done it before.
Yeah, she started.
She did a wonderful job. So wonderful of a job that I think I'm back in my Ariana Grande phase. Like I think Wicked single-handedly brought me back to being a huge fan of Ariana Grande.
Woo, welcome back. I stay in my Ariana phase, so I never have to get And my Ariana face.
Yeah. So my standouts from the soundtrack are The Wizard and I, What Is This Feeling, and Defying Gravity. And also, this soundtrack was legitimately so good that immediately after seeing the movie, I bought the vinyl for it.
Yo. We got to listen to it on vinyl. We got to go to your house.
And it's a beautiful vinyl. The first vinyl has a picture of Cynthia on it. And then the other vinyl has a picture of Ariana on it. It's so good.
Ooh.
I'm in the business of collecting vinyl that aren't just plain black vinyl now, I think. If I can avoid getting just plain black vinyl, I will.
Beautiful. Yeah, so when it's on your actual record player, it's got some visual interest, right?
It does, yeah. I mean, it already does because my record player has like an LED light show thing going on it. But yeah, that's my number 6. The cast of Wicked. They were amazing. They did such a good job. I mostly talked about Cynthia and Ariana, but everybody else also did a fantastic job. Jonathan Bailey was great. Jeff Goldblum, great. Like everybody across the board did a really good job. So that takes us to our top 5.
Woo!
Dallas.
Top five. So we talked about battle rap today. This year, I heard a concept album for which the concept was, what if Amy Winehouse was a battle rapper?
Excuse me?
And I know that sounds like a Mad Lib, but there is a precedent for it because also my number 5 is Lupe Fiasco, my favorite rapper. Yay!
Oh, Lupe! Dude, I love Lupe.
Lupe Fiasco made an album this year called Samurai.
Ooh.
My favorite songs from it are Mumble Rap, Samurai, and Cake. And the concept is, what if Amy Winehouse was a battle rapper?
That's crazy.
So apparently, Lupe is a big Amy Winehouse fan.
Ooh.
He was watching her documentary, and there's a scene where she's talking about just coming up with battle raps. She's talking to her producer, and she says, quote, I keep coming out with battle raps, and they're just pouring out of me like Wu-Tang stuff, but really neat. Very beautifully alliterated little battle raps. So next time you want to come for me and have a battle rap off, I'm going to kill you because I'm a samurai. That's a quote from Amy Winehouse about being a battle rapper, and I had never heard it.
Yo, that documentary is heartbreaking. It's so good.
I've heard
won an Oscar.
things about the documentary. Yeah,
It's so good.
I heard it's good. Yeah, so when I heard someone describe what this album is, I was like, no, it's not. That's not what you said. Just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, if anyone's gonna do it, it's Lupe because he's very artistic and he's creative and he's weird.
He loves the concept album too. He loves the concept
album. But he also worked that quote from her into the hook of one of the songs. Very beautifully alliterated little battle raps.
Mm-hmm. What song? I need to listen to it right now.
I'm gonna have to check. I want to say it might be Samurai.
Okay.
But I'll check and let you know. It's a good album. Ironically, not my favorite Lupe album as far as albums go. But the reason that Lupe is still in my top 5 is because I saw him live this year. I went to a show at the Novo, and Lupe always puts on a great show. He always has. I've been watching him live for like a decade. Lupe's like 45 years old, and this man has more energy than I do.
Oh yeah, he be bouncing around on stage.
He be jumping around like regardless of like what song. He has a wide range of music from different eras of his career. And like he puts the same energy into all of them. He be jumping around, he be running back and forth, interacting with the crowd. I'm just like, sir, you're 10 years older than me. I'm tired. I've just been standing here.
He's only 10 years older than us?
Yeah. But he's great. Watching him perform live is always amazing. And I will do it every opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's why he's in my top 5, mostly for that performance.
Yeah.
Also, he came out dressed as I've described like every character I've ever created in a video game because he was wearing like all blue like shorts.
I saw.
Yeah, he looked like a Crip.
He came up
and he explained it. And he was like, so like you might be wondering like what's all this blue about? You know, it's in LA. So he's like, it's not that. It's not that. And he talked about the Dodgers.
Dodger blue.
Go Dodgers, World Series. We love it. And he said that he is, I think he said like 0.003% of the reason why the Dodgers won the World Series. And we were like, what are you talking about? He talked about Shohei Ohtani, and he was like, Shohei Ohtani has used the following song as his walk-on music. And then he played Show Goes On. And I was like, that's a great intro. Show Goes On.
Yo.
But yeah, it's great. Lupe is great.
Wait, so he did Show Goes
I love his
On?
music.
Did he do anything for the Coolest?
He did. He did that song, Coolest.
Oh, that's still my favorite album. And Go
Same.
Baby, Go Baby's still my song.
Fantastic song. But yeah, he did all that. It was all great. That's why he's in my top 5.
See?
Lupe Fiasco and his strange but beautiful
concept
Amy Winehouse battle rapper.
I need to listen to this album now. It's only 8 songs, so
yeah, it's not
let's
long.
go, Lupe. I love him.
But yeah, that's my number 5.
And he cut his hair. He had long hair for a long time, and now we're like back to the Coolest era, basically.
Back to old school, yeah.
He got fade. I love you, Lupe.
Gabby, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Megan Thee Stallion. For putting out Megan in all capital letters. I love this album. The theme of the songs was basically snakes. Love it.
It
Yes.
was indeed.
Love it so much. Standout songs for me were Hiss, Mamushi, and Otaku Hot Girl because, well,
I
Mamushi.
love Otaku Hot Girl.
Dude,
it might be my favorite on the album.
Of course you do. So many anime references. Honorable mention to Boa, especially the music video to Boa, Unhinged. Also so many anime references. And also I love that Boa samples What You Waiting For. Hiss, I love that she stopped being nice. And she was like, you know what? Let me hit back at all of you. Take my name out of your mouth. And I gotta respect it.
I mean, how could I not love the song where she goes, "Can't touch me like Gojo."
Like Gojo.
Look good in all my photos.
Just landed in Kyoto. Yep.
I had just started watching Jujutsu Kaisen, which is the show where Gojo is from. And I was like, I know this reference.
And Mamushi, I love Mamushi because it introduced us to a Japanese rapper who I now love so much. He's adorable. Yuki Chiba. Love you, baby boo. And she brought him on to the VMAs to perform with her, which I also love. So
Nice.
I feel like it's something very important that she did because Megan references a lot of Japanese culture, a lot of anime. And, you know, she went to Japan and like consulted cultural experts for the filming of Mamushi, the Mamushi music video. She brought a Japanese rapper into the mainstream to like be on her album. I feel like she's not just, you know, consuming the culture. She's also trying to uplift it. And I think that's amazing and wonderful. I love her so much. She's magical and amazing.
She's awesome. She also had that documentary that came out last year.
Yes, I have not seen it, but
Same.
I love her.
But also, Mamushi gave us that TikTok trend, the TikTok dance that was going around. That was really, really cute.
Oh, yeah. I love that dance. It's very, very adorable. Cute. Yeah. Anyway, my number 5 is Megan Thee Stallion. Love her. I love you, Megan. You deserved so many Grammy noms and you were robbed.
You deserve the world, Megan. Also, again, bringing up Not My Fault, which she did with Renee Rapp last year.
Yes.
Amazing
Also
song.
that.
Her verse slaps.
Yep.
And it's one of the few rap verses that I actually know by heart.
Oh, okay.
I love that verse so much. And I love her on that song.
Also, speaking of beef, that his song, like Nicki got real mad at it.
Oh my gosh.
But unfortunately,
that was a wild time.
That was a wild.
We thought that was going to be the biggest beef of the year. Nah, fam.
Little did we know it was sweet summer children we were.
Little did we know.
How naive.
The year took a turn.
Yes. We were so naive.
All right, Cassie, who is your number 5?
Number 5.
Man, Gabby is Gabaris today.
Sorry.
Where is the album? We need the damn album. Anyway, my number 5 is Joy Alada-kun because there is little better than a sad black lesbian making sad black lesbian music. Love to see it. I've been listening to her for a while. Her music just absolutely slaps.
She was on your list last year.
Oh my God, yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
Wow. And then an album this year. Girl's been working, girl's been writing, and it hit. It just, oh my God, her music is so good. It makes me so sad, but in a good way. Like her Spotify rap message was like, hey, just want to make sure you're okay. I make music for people who feel like alone and sad. So she knows. She knows.
Well,
I love that they had them do that this year. Because, like, Troye Sivan was like, if you listen to me, you're gay.
See, I would take that over, hey, you depressed bitch. But, you know.
Honestly, relatable. If I made music, I'd probably make sad girl music, too.
You know,
but, like, with a really poppy overtone, so you can't tell it's sad until you're like, wait a minute.
This doesn't have poppy overtones.
That's what the sad girls are doing lately.
She wants you to know that this is sad. Like, here's a song about how my friend died and I had a crisis of faith at the same time. Like, damn, girl, you going through a lot. But also that song absolutely slaps, and about, like, how you don't know what's going to happen after you die and you used to believe in something, but now you don't. And, like, how do you reconcile that? And how do you deal with the fact that you don't know what's going to happen? Like, it slaps. I'm going to see her in concert in a few months, and I am ready to cry.
Ooh.
But like a good
And
cry.
then she can go on your list again just for the concert.
Yeah. Oh my God, 3 years running. Let's go.
Wait, we're allowed to do that?
Yeah.
I didn't know we're allowed to do that.
You can put people on your list just for seeing them in concert.
You can do whatever you want. You put people on your list you haven't listened to. It doesn't matter.
Hey, I did listen to one song, okay?
Rules do not matter.
As long so we didn't mention this earlier. The rule of the list is that they have to have released at least a song during the year, or they had to have gone to a tour that you saw for them to end up on the list.
Got it. It was the tour that I saw. Yes. Okay. I always forget that one.
Anyway, yeah. More sad black girls writing sad music. please.
I'm sure that there are a lot out there. You just got to find them. So let us know in the comments so that Cassie can go find them. All right. So my number 5 is Justin Timberlake for his album, Everything I Thought It Was. We've waited years for this album, ladies and gentlemen.
This is going to ruin the tour.
Anyway, I love that album. It came out in like January. It came out early in the year. It came out really early in the year. I've been listening to quite a bit of it all year. At the very least, like the first track came out in January. It's a really good album. I know that a lot of people didn't like Man of the Woods, which was his last album. I wasn't the biggest fan of that one either, but there are several songs on that album that I do really like. But this felt like a return to like the Justin Timberlake that we're used to. Very pop, very R&B. And I love that for me because I've loved just about every single Justin Timberlake album except for the last one. I'm still upset that the 2020 Experience did not get nominated for like best album at the Grammys because it's such a good album. It's a perfect album.
That was a good album. Push a Love Girl. Love that song.
Such a good album. And it was a double album too. Both parts of it were amazing. But anyway, this is about Everything I Thought It Was. Quite a bit of it feels pretty autobiographical. Justin's gone through quite a bit in the last few years. And you can definitely hear it in quite a number of his songs, especially in like Memphis, which is the first song that's on the album. But my standouts from this album are Sanctified with Toby Ningwe, because it's such a good song. I love Sanctified.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
From the moment he performed it on SNL, I was like, I need this stat. Oh, that's what it was. So he performed Sanctified on SNL in January. I remember because I think it was either the week before or the week after Renee Rapp performed on SNL. Because I don't watch SNL like that. And I had 2 weeks in a row where I was like, musical guest is for me. Yeah. And then in March, I think the album came out. But yeah, Sanctified, amazing song. I love Flame. Technicolor is so good. Technicolor is like 7 minutes, but it's worth every second. It is the best song on the album. It might tie for first as my favorite song on the album because the other song that I have as a standout, because usually I only do 3 standout songs, but I had to do this one as a standout as well because he has a song on the album with NSYNC. And I do not consider this Justin Timberlake featuring NSYNC. No, it is NSYNC.
Got it.
And that song is called Paradise. And that song sounds like it's the perfect NSYNC song. It is exactly, if NSYNC was still making albums today, this is absolutely what they would sound like. In this modern era of pop music. Justin was putting out snippets of each song every day until the album came out. And Paradise is pretty far down on the track list. And I remember when he posted that snippet and I listened to it and legitimately immediate tears just started coming out of my eyes because I am a huge NSYNC fan. I have been since I was 6 years old. I still listen to NSYNC to this day, and I am in my 30s. At random, I'll just be like, I feel like listening to a bunch of NSYNC music. I just bought their holiday album on vinyl as if I don't own it on CD and as if I don't have it already on my phone.
Merry Christmas, happy holiday.
Their holiday album is that's how I know that like I officially feel like it's Christmas is when I finally hear music from that album. NSYNC is my favorite boy band of all time. So the fact that there is now a song that has come out in the year of our Lord 2024 and it sounds perfectly like what they would make today. The harmonies, the lyrics, everything is so very well done. And Justin sounds like he did back when he was in sync, which is funny because it never occurred to me that Justin has like an NSYNC voice, but he does. And it's so funny, but it's so great. And it's the voice that I fell in love with as a 6-year-old child. So Justin had to be on the list, if only so I could talk about the one NSYNC song that I got this year. And it was glorious. And it was wonderful. And I'm still waiting on a reunion tour. I will spend so much money because I'm grown now and I will have to buy my own ticket.
You could drop money on them.
That's true.
Them tickets.
Listen, when I say I'm an NSYNC fan, I've been to 3 NSYNC concerts, I think, in my life, which is, when you think about it, the last time they were on tour was like 2002.
Mm-hmm. It was like 22 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
a wild statement.
Yeah. We were like, how old were we? Like 10? Dude, if I had asked for NSYNC tickets at that age, my parents would have laughed in my face. They were like,
I didn't ask my parents for those tickets. My parents got us the tickets because we were a household there were a lot of us living in my house at the time. And we had teenage girls living in the house, not just me who was a child.
Yeah.
And so our whole house were NSYNC fans. So I saw them at the Rose Bowl twice. And then I think I saw them at the Superdome in Louisiana once.
Oh my God. You have the best family.
So I love me some NSYNC, which has led to me loving some Justin Timberlake. So Justin Timberlake is number 5 on my list. And that takes us to number 4, Dallas.
Woo!
Number 4. Speaking of people that we love, my number 4 is Childish Gambino.
Hey, Donald.
I finally got the song that I wanted. It took years, but we made it.
Donald Glover.
Yes, so Gambino put out 2 albums this year. One that he had already put out, but without that song that we all wanted to hear. That was Ada Vista. And then he put out Bando, Stone, and the New World, which is allegedly album for a movie that is coming out that at this point I don't believe is coming out.
Eventually.
Donald, I think you're lying. You are a liar. Stop lying to us.
Watch him respond to this.
Dallas, it's
That'll be
not
awesome.
his fault you haven't picked up on his 57 million clues.
That's why I have to walk into the woods with the right album playing at the right time
You have to play
to discover the
Ada
movie.
Vista like backwards, but starting from the middle, and it's you didn't hear that?
Y'all didn't know you had to download the like Alta Vista and then like look at the coding for the secrets?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I'll try that. I'll try that next.
You have to know C++ though.
But yeah, Ada Vista came out back when it was like, I think 3:15:20 or whatever it's called before. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's still not my favorite. But Bando Stone, I really, really love. I rock with it a lot. Oh, also my favorite songs from Gambino this year are Lithonia, Yoshinoya, and Littlefoot Bigfoot.
Very nice.
Shout out Littlefoot Bigfoot having Quinta Brunson in the music video.
Nice.
That was a lovely, lovely cameo. But yeah, Gambino's just really good at making music. Whatever type of music you want, hopefully it's going to be what he feels like making at the time because he's going to make whatever he wants. But he's good at all of it. Rap, pop, whatever. What's the Awaken My Love? Like soul, funk,
Awaken
gospel,
My Love is still my favorite album.
spooky music. It's all really good.
Yep.
Bando Stone, he gets back to rapping a little more than I expected, which I loved. But also the song Lithonia, he's mostly singing, which I love that song the most. And then he made a music video for it where his eyeballs explode and he chases somebody out of a room. So
he's back on
weird.
that. All right.
He's a weird man.
He has a good time. Let him be experimental. Also, oh my God, No Excuses featuring our love, Ludwig Göransson, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They be collabing, as always.
I just want to say that I'm just really happy that Human Sacrifice finally came out after like 5 years of me waiting for it to finally drop. I've just been
How many times you watch that Apple ad?
Oh my gosh, so many times. And I was like, when is it going to happen? When are we going to get the song? Or like I would go and try and find like a really good recording of him performing it at that tour that we went to.
Right.
That's all I wanted. Just wanted that song, and it finally came out and I was like, yes, thank God I can play it on repeat.
Thanks for the song. Please give us the movie because the trailer for the movie looks really good. Like I'm excited for that movie if it exists.
It's still on IMDb, so...
What's the name of that movie?
Bando Stone in the New World. It's the same as the album.
Got it.
On Wikipedia, they keep calling it a soundtrack album, so it sounds like it has to go to something.
Sure. But yeah, shout out Gambino. Keep making dope music and maybe a movie. That's my number 4.
Cool.
Gabby, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Billie Eilish.
Yes.
Yes.
Let us talk about it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about her first?
Sure. I don't really have much to say, to be honest. This is probably my favorite Billie Eilish album. This is the one that kind of stuck with me the most, probably out of all the ones that I've heard so far. I don't have much more to say about it. One of my favorite things is actually how like the songs transition into like different melodies and like tones and stuff like that, different beats and stuff. I think it's really cool. I like the transitions between songs on quite a few of them. But my standout songs from this album are Lunch, obviously. Birds of a Feather, because that is just a perfect song in my opinion. That is a perfect pop song. I feel like there's something in that. Billy, what drugs did you put in Birds
there's some
of
crack.
a Feather?
She sprinkled a little crack in there. Yeah.
And what nostalgia did you put in it too? Because it just feels like a timeless pop song. It feels like it doesn't matter what year you put that out in, it just still would
it was gonna be a hit.
It would still be a hit. It's such a good song. My last standout is The Greatest. So those are my 3.
Yeah. So this is like her gayest album ever. Like,
oh, no kidding.
I could eat that girl for lunch.
Eat that girl for lunch. Yeah, she
also
dances
put
on
out
my tongue.
She also put out Guess, like with what's her name?
Oh,
Charlie
Charlie
XCX.
XCX.
And I'm like, girl, fully embracing your sexuality. Love it.
Billy had a fun year.
Yep. You guys know I'm a big fan of her. I put her on almost every year, I think. And there's no exception. I also love Birds of a Feather. I literally start my drives to and from work with Birds of a Feather every day. Ooh. And then my other favorite song is L'amour de mi vie.
That's a good one too.
It's a real good one. Love it so much.
Chihiro is a good one too. That's a really good one.
Chihiro, yes. Ugh.
That was on Barack Obama's list this year.
Oh, what? Of course it was. He's so cool. Like he just every time I'm like, maybe, and then he puts out his like reading list and then his playlist,
His
and I'm
movie
like,
list, his music list.
And I'm like, damn, he's just so. I miss you, boo. Anyway, I love you, Brock. Also, I like that this album was inspired. Like, apparently, her writing, "What Was I Made For?" What Was I Made For? Inspired, from Barbie, really inspired her, and this album was the result. So
It's really good.
And I love that it does kind of feel, especially what it starts with "Birds of a Feather," I believe.
No, Birds of a Feather is number 2. I think it starts with Lunch.
Sorry, it starts with Lunch, but like "Birds of a Feather" feels somehow like a continuation of "What Was I Made For." I get the vibes. I see how that other song inspired this.
Oh no, Lunch is number 2. Birds of a Feather is number 4. What's number 1 on this
what's
album?
number 1? Good. What was I thinking?
Where does this album start?
Maybe it starts with
Skinny.
Skinny. See, which is also very like "What Was I Made For" adjacent. So again, really great album. Probably my favorite of hers so far, and I love it so much. Thank you so much, Billy.
Cassie, what's your number 4?
It's great to Gabby thanks every artist. It's nice.
Very nice.
It's nice.
Anyway, my number 4 is the Home Team for their album The Crucible of Life, I think is what it's called. They are a quote-unquote heavy pop band, I guess. Whatever that means. I would call it rock, but I'm not going to tell them how to live. Plus, there's a non-zero chance that I could run into them at some point because they're from Seattle and my work is in Seattle, so I ever have to go to Seattle. And then I don't want to get into an argument with I think you make rock music, and they're like, no, we make heavy pop. And then it's the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's funny because Google has them down as alternative indie.
Everybody's beefing.
Genre means nothing. I just like music. I don't know.
It's true.
Fair.
Their music slaps. It's the right level of heaviness, I think, because I often find that I need music that has enough going on to make me pay attention to it, and I feel like their music does. I don't know. It makes sense in my head. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it slap. You should listen to it. It's real good.
Well, all right.
All right. So my number 4, funny enough, recently finished being a supporting act for Billie Eilish's tour. She's the girlfriend of one of the artists that I just mentioned earlier on my list. She was number 5 on my Apple replay list, and she's my favorite American hero who happens to not be American. My number 4 is Toa Bird for her album American Hero.
Ooh.
Toa's awesome. Toa is an artist who I was aware of before actually getting to know her music. I was aware of her because at the time that I became a huge fan of Renee Rapp's last year, now the year before last, Toa was on tour with her, and I thought Toa was just her guitarist because all that I'd ever seen of her was the footage of her and Renee being extremely close during Tummy Hurts, which has become a very memorable moment for just about every person who is a Renee Rapp fan or a Toa Bird fan. But yeah, I was aware of her, and then I found out that she is her own actual individual artist. She was not just Renee Rapp's guitarist. So I waited until her album came out in June to listen to it, actually listen to her for the first time. And oh my gosh, that album is so good. I love her sound so much. Her music reminds me so much of a rom-com. Every song feels like it belongs in a 2000s rom-com, and it makes me so happy. I think that's the vibe that she's going for, because there was a TikTok that she put out where she said this song sounds like it belongs in a 500 Days of Summer-esque movie but with lesbians or something like that. Ooh. And I want to say it was Deep Cut, which is one of my favorite songs on the album. Actually, probably is my favorite song on the album, but I go back and forth depending on the day. I listened to that album on repeat when I heard it for the first time. I also think it sounds so much like a rom-com that I was inspired to actually write a rom-com because I had been listening to the songs so much, and I was just I'm imagining a rom-com in my head now. I feel like I should just write one because I have an idea for one now because I've been listening to this so much over the past 6 months now. So I'm now currently writing a rom-com.
Oh my God.
If I could write this movie, get it made, and get Toa Bird to let me use some of her music for the movie, I would be ecstatic because her music is just... It's so good. I highly recommend it. Also, she's an incredibly talented guitar player. For me, that's the really significant special thing about Toa Bird is that she is so talented on guitar. She's got a good voice, but man, hearing her play guitar, I went to see her live at the Echo last year. Because I was like, you know what? I have a job right now. I can go to concerts. I'm going to have like a birthday concert couple of weeks. She's so good live. Hearing her play guitar live was incredible, astounding. The footage that I have on my phone, I showed it to somebody shortly after that I went to the concert, and they were like, why does it look like you were filming a documentary for her? Like, this looks so good and it sounds so good. She's just amazing, and she's a lesser known artist right now. I highly recommend checking out Toa Bird. She's so dope. And also her music kind of feels like the type of music that you would listen to like with the top down while driving to the beach down like the Pacific Coast Highway or something. She's really dope. And I highly recommend. Congrats, Renee Rapp. Your girlfriend is super cool. That's Toa Bird. My standouts from her album American Hero are FML, Wild Heart, and Deep Cut. But I also probably would highly recommend just any song on that album. If you want something slower, because all three of the songs that I mentioned are upbeat songs, and I usually try to give at least one slower song, I would recommend Mayflower. So number 4, Toa Bird. That takes us to our top 3.
Woo! Wow.
Top 3.
Dallas, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Vince Staples.
Of course.
I love Vince Staples. It's freaking great.
What's R. Kelly gonna do
His
to
album
me?
that he put out. Vince Staples' album is called Dark Times. My favorite songs from it are Etouffee, Little Homies, and Freeman.
Ooh, etouffee. I love etouffee.
Etouffee.
Shrimp etouffee.
Great song.
Sorry.
Such a great, just feels great. Vince, as always, he has this way of making you feel like, oh man, we really got to fix society, and like, it's rough out here for our people. We got to fix this. And then also just like, but I could ride through the hood and be a Crip right now. Just like, I feel like it's a good vibe. He's interesting. He has an interesting dichotomy. And I love his music. I also saw him at Flog Knock.
Nice.
He was there. He was probably the main reason that we went. I was like, oh, snap, Vince is going to be there? I had never seen him live before, but this time I did. I saw a tweet after we got back that says, if you know Vince, he talks a lot about like, you know, America's racist.
Yeah. Cops
Cops are bad. These things happen to black people.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a tweet that said Vince Staples shows are humiliation rituals for white people. And I was like, what? But then someone pointed out, he said to the, in fairness, heavily white Flog Knock crowd, because Flog Knock's not all white, but you know, white young kids love Tyler the Creator.
Got it.
And he was like, you know, y'all ready for some real nigga shit? And they were all like, yeah.
No.
He called them all stupid. It was fantastic.
Oh, I love him.
That's insane.
He's great.
But also,
I
I'm
love
not
Vince so
surprised because of who Vince Staples is and because of the R. Kelly
Exactly.
interview that he did.
Exactly.
Which is
This is great.
Vince Staples' claim to fame to me is that interview.
I'm a good person. R. Kelly a piece of fucking shit. So piece of fucking shit R. Kelly didn't go to jail for being a child molester and peeing on people and having a human trafficking ring in Atlanta, then I'll be all right.
He's fantastic. But yeah, he can be serious. He is surprisingly serious in a lot of his music, despite the fact that he's such a funny person.
He's hilarious.
Are you ever gonna do comedy for the
Nope.
people?
Nah.
Come on, you do it on Twitter all day anyway.
Nah, I'll be serious. People just laugh at me.
He's hilarious. And he's so hilarious that he got a show on Netflix. And he talks about it in one of his songs. He says, an undisclosed amount from Netflix invested. I turned the set into a movie set for all of the kids to see who you can be if you believe you're bigger than this. Don't be a crab in the bucket, be a Crip at the Ritz. Because he is a Crip, or he was. And, you know,
Formerly.
crab is a term for Crips that Bloods use. It's bad. Don't call them that. You'll get shot. But it's like good wordplay, but also like, you know, we're doing this for the kids. I'm getting that Netflix money, but also let the kids know that they can be something bigger than what they think. I'm like, that's great. That's the great best of both worlds for Vince.
He was also so funny that he ended up on Abbott Elementary for a while and was really good while he was on there.
I loved him
Fantastic.
so much in it.
He was my favorite character.
Dude.
And then he left and it became Tariq again.
Yeah, Teresa's pretty great.
So basically anybody who Janine is dating is Dallas's favorite character.
Honestly, yeah, because also Gregory.
Gregory's the best. Also, you're Gregory.
That's true. You
I've
are
been told this a
Gregory.
lot. Part of the reason why he's my favorite.
Although the introverted line that he gave a few weeks ago on the show is absolutely like me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you go so that you don't get tied down in this conversation. And Gregory's like, thank you, I really appreciate that.
Oh, the brother.
appreciate
Is his name Connor or something?
I don't remember.
Something that sounds like
Zach's
that.
brother.
I appreciated how much he understood. No, I don't want to be in this conversation. Please let me go.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I feel that. Gregory is all of us.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say about Vince, it's not relative to his music of this year, but earlier we talked about finding out how tall people are.
How tall is he?
No, Vince is not tall,
Aw,
but
bro.
there's a tweet that he tweeted to Lil Nas X a few years ago, And it's one of my favorite interactions on Twitter. Because Vince put out an album, and then Lil Nas was like, congrats on the new album. And Vince said, what's up, bro? When you trying to hoop, you wasting your height. Lil Nas X is like 6'2". And
Is
then,
he? Yeah, he's tall.
He's tall. And then Lil Nas X responded, I only play with one type of balls, bro. and then Vince responded, nigga, it's 8 a.m.
Yo.
That's the best time to send those tweets.
Oh my God. I have something to tell you related
fantastic.
to it being early.
I miss
They're
when
both so
Twitter
funny.
was a fun place.
Yeah, like this is going to be like, I'm going to look at this fondly and then not go back to
It's
it.
8 a.m.
But, it is 8 a.m. But yeah, Vince was hilarious and he makes great music and he's my number 3.
Woo.
Gabby, who is your number 3?
My number 3 is Sabrina Carpenter.
Finally, at long last, let's do it.
Do you want to talk first?
I mean, sure. I was late to the party. I didn't actually listen to her album until like November, and I think she ended up being like the most listened to artist that I had in November because I was listening to that album.
It's like nice and short, so it's easy to get.
Yeah, it's
through.
not particularly long. One day I was just like, oh, I haven't listened to this album yet. And the thing about me is, so I've been a fan of Sabrina Carpenter since her Girl Meets World days. She played my favorite character on the show. I just thought she was so talented on that show. Since then, I've heard a couple of songs that she's done. I knew that she had a music career going, but I knew that she hadn't quite hit it big. And all of a sudden, everybody in the world started talking about Sabrina Carpenter. And I was like, why does everybody suddenly know the little girl off of Girl Meets World? Like,
because she put out some heat.
She put out some heat. I was just like, I've been so highly aware of her existence for so long. Yeah. Like the Netflix movie that she did, which I haven't seen, but I knew that it exists, and like so many things that she's done. Like I'm aware of these things, and it's just like so funny to me that all of a sudden, like the entire world loves Sabrina Carpenter. To be honest, I hadn't even heard Espresso all the way through until November. I somehow managed to avoid that, possibly because I don't really listen to music unless it's on my playlist.
That song was everywhere, but I get it.
I listened to the album. It's a good album. I think some of it leans more into a genre that's not quite like for me. It's not my type of genre, but I think all the music that she put on the album is really good. Mm-hmm. However, she did something when she put Bedkim and Espresso back to back. Like she knew she was killing it. She left the studio that day knowing she was like, it's back to back.
Yep.
I'm done for the day. Work is over. They don't even know what they about to get.
Do also taste and then please immediately after.
Bedkim and Espresso though. That is the double play for me. That's
you're
like,
right.
I can't believe you put those back to. Those are crazy. Yeah, those are insane.
Yep. She sprinkled a little crack on there. Mm-hmm.
My favorite Sabrina Carpenter is Sabrina Carpenter who leans into her R&B bag. So my 3 standout songs from her album are Espresso, which is not R&B. It's just really, really, really good pop. Mm-hmm. Bedkim, which definitely leans into R&B, and Good Graces, which also leans pretty heavily into R&B. Those are my 3 standouts. Espresso do got some crack in it. I understand why y'all was listening to it all year. That she put something in that.
It's an earworm, man. It gets in there and it's not coming out.
It's like, so catchy.
Yeah, thinking about me every night out. Like, come on.
Isn't that sweet? I guess so.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, yo, this is so catchy.
Oh, it's so catchy.
Baby can't sleep every night. Oh, it's that
I'm working
espresso?
late because I'm a singer. Even that one.
I was like, daggone it, Sabrina. You know, this is the catchiest thing I've heard all year.
So good.
Also, Christina Aguilera had an anniversary for her first ever album. I can't remember which anniversary it was this year.
It was from 1999.
25?
Yeah, so 25.
Yeah, so 25. It was her 25th anniversary of her debut album. Mm-hmm. And Sabrina Carpenter was a part of that because Sabrina Carpenter is a huge fan of Christina Aguilera. She was a big influence on Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think my favorite, first off, Christina Aguilera is my all-time favorite artist, period. Game over. So I was like, oh my gosh, my favorite artist of all time finally found her pop daughter. That's her pop daughter.
They sang Ain't No Other Man, right? At her concert, at Sabrina's concert?
They did. Christina surprised her at her concert, and I thought that was so cool. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
You got Christina on your side like that? Yeah. Christina has her pop daughters. I think she's got Demi Lovato, who I also love, and she's got Sabrina Carpenter. And I'm down for that.
Love it. Love short and sweet. I also love the vibe of Sabrina. Because also, what is crazy is Sabrina Carpenter started the year as Taylor Swift's opening act.
She did, and then she had a sold out tour, like a big tour.
Exactly, massive sold out tour is how she ended the year. Crazy,
and she pissed off a bunch of moms.
I know, but also, girl, were you not listening to the album?
They weren't. They
weren't. Like, come on.
Earlier, I said, come for the movie review, stay for the thirst. I would argue that Sabrina Carpenter is currently the queen of thirst in music right now.
Her chicken shop date interview, she just flirts the whole time. And I'm like, oh, girl, relatable. I was like this when I was your age, and I dig it.
Bedchem alone.
Yes. She's like...
The wordplay in Bedchem too.
Dude, she's like, come on to me. I'm in camaraderie, girl.
Yes. She says, come on me. I'm in camaraderie.
Oh, I love it so much.
And
she's
so
the
good. Shakespeare line that she has, why are you not uponeth me? I was like, yo, the wordplay
why not
is crazy.
Uponeth me? She's just, first of all, she's hilarious. That is hilarious. Second of all, amazing. And I love how the album is literally short and sweet.
It is indeed.
And she is also short and sweet. But no, my favorite thing that she did at her concert. So there was a very popular SNL skit that had espresso in it.
Yes. I
Domingo.
Domingo.
And she would like also in the middle of her concert, she would arrest somebody for being too sexy. And so that night, Domingo was the one that she arrested, which is who was played by what is his name?
Marcelo.
Marcelo Hernandez?
I don't know what his last name is. I just know his first name is Marcelo. He's really funny.
I love him. He's a standout on SNL that I love. Yeah, Marcelo Hernandez.
He's also in one of my favorite SNL skits ever, which is a teacher. If you have not seen that one, please look up
with Ana de Armas
sketch. No. Although that one's a really good one too. It's the parody riff on the Hulu show A Teacher, about a teacher-student affair. It's hilarious. The SNL sketch.
Okay. Gotta look it up later. Yeah. So anyway, my standouts were Taste, Coincidence, and Bedchem. All great, 10 out of 10. Obviously, Espresso and Please, Please, Please are up there too. But for me, those are my faves. Those are my standouts. Juno's great too.
Juno is really good.
Yes. And yes, thank you so much, Sabrina Carpenter, for what you graced us with this year. It was delightful. It was amazing. And I love her.
Her album had such an impact when I listened to it in November that I was like, dang it, I got to go mess around with my music list. Where am I putting her in here?
Right? You're like, gosh, dang it, this is some heat.
I thought I was done.
I thought I had buttoned this up, but no, I have to open her up again.
I thought this was finalized. Cassie, who is your number 3?
Hello. So my number 3 is Z Machine. Because listen, I used to be a gay man. Horny gay men make good music. We know this. I don't know what to
Troye Sivan is one of those, yeah.
Horny gay men make good, like, club music, also about fucking dudes. Like, it's, you know, they got a brand and they do it. Also, for some reason, this motherfucker sings in Mandarin on one of his songs. Why? I don't know. Because he speaks Mandarin and he
just
can.
felt like it.
Oh no, it's just like he put out an EP, which I've been waiting for. Because he's one of those artists that like has been putting out singles for years and years and years. And I was like, bro, if you don't put out an album, even if it's just a collection of all the singles, please. Trying to listen to that shit on Spotify is hard because you got to go to each individual one. Like,
inconvenient.
He put out an EP and it's great. It's a lot about fucking because that's what he likes. And I respect that. But yeah, there's good like club bangers to inhale poppers too, I guess.
Well, all right.
Cool.
All right, guys. My number 3 is Kehlani for her albums Crash and While We Wait 2.
Damn. You just got hella gays on yours.
Like half my list. Half this list, bro.
It's like gay women.
It was just,
I love it for
the
you,
gay
though.
women. Listen, they came out swinging this year. Their albums were hitting. And they were also on soundtracks, obviously.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Both of the soundtracks that were on this list have queer women on them. Yeah, Kehlani. I listened to her album because Cassie recommended it in our group chat. It was Pride Month, and I know that Kehlani is queer, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen to that during Pride Month when it comes out, which was like the same day that Toa Bird's album came out. I like While We Wait too. I have listened to Crash so much.
Crash is so good.
I remember listening to it and being like, there aren't really any skips on this album. Like they're like, you just go through it and like it just gets better and better. It feels like it's so good. It's such a good R&B album. I listened to it so much this year, and it's like the only reason, because I actually saw Toa in concert. I did not see Kehlani, and the only reason I put Kehlani above Toa is because I listened to this album so much to the point where even Apple Music can't give me an accurate assessment of how much I listened to it, because I listened to it at work on the Apple TV there. Ooh. And that's not attached to my account. So On somebody else's account,
So they giving
there
you
was a lot
rookie
of me
numbers.
listening to Kehlani. They're giving me, a little bit. Well, also, Apple did not count January through May for me for some reason. So still, I feel like my Renee Rapp numbers were also lower than they should be. But yeah, the Kehlani numbers are not accurate because I was listening to her on other accounts too. Crash is just a really good R&B album. My standouts from that album, well, my standout from While We Wait 2 is When He's Not There featuring Lucky Day. And then my standouts from Crash are Next to You, Crash, and Vegas. But honestly, there are so many good songs on that album that I feel bad only giving you 3.
Yeah.
But it is really good.
Fair.
So that's my number 3. It's Kehlani. Dallas, that takes us to number 2.
Number 2. Number 2 is a man named Sir, and he is from Inglewood. He's an R&B singer, and he's very good at singing.
I've heard of him.
His album this year is called Heavy. Favorite songs from the album are Satisfaction, 6 Whole Days, and Ricky's Song. Heavy was my favorite album for 7 months. It dropped in late March, and nothing beat it until a certain surprise album came out in November.
I know the feeling.
But it's just really good. This is one I struggle with when I put him on the list. 'Cause I was like, up to that point, I was like, he's my favorite artist of the year, but I don't have a lot to say about him because it's just, hey man, you got a really nice voice and you make really good music.
That's
and you're
enough.
from LA, and I love that. Also, I think he signed to TDE, Top Dog Entertainment,
that's
the group that
Kendrick's label.
Kendrick was from. They collab a lot, so I think he's part of TDE. If not, it doesn't matter. Either way, he makes really good music. Ricky's Song is a letter to his nephew, and it's kind of like his nephew was in high school when he wrote the song. It was like, I'm proud of you. Here are some bars of wisdom. Like, don't go over here. It's dangerous. Be careful wearing hoodies because the police are out. And it's just like, growing up, being a young black boy back in the day and now being a black man, it's like I can appreciate that song and what it is. And it just sounds really good too because he has a really nice voice. But yeah, Sir's great. I was ready for him to be my number 1. And then he wasn't because surprises happen.
Surprises do be happening.
Surprises do be happening, but that's my number 2.
Gabby, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Chapel Roan. Hey.
Chapel's great. Also somebody who I listened to during Pride Month.
As you do.
Amazing. I love her so much. Yes. Okay, so this year she put out Good Luck Babe.
Yes.
Last year she put out her album Rise and Fall of the
technically
Midwest.
last year
Last
she
year
put out.
Good Luck Babe, and then the year before that was Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess.
Why did Apple lie to
Yes.
me? They said 2024 on Good Luck Babe. Dang it.
No, it is. But we
Good Luck Baby is 2024.
We're
We're
in
saying
the
it comes out in
future.
2025.
Duh,
It's
I'm so
last year.
sorry. Time is
a construct.
A construct. Yes. Sorry. I thought I had failed you guys. I was like, no, I'm so
No, you didn't
sorry.
fail us. No,
Okay.
Good Luck Babe was definitely 2024. So yes, it does apply.
You got it. Okay. Yes. So last year she put out Good Luck Babe, and then in 2023 she put out Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. So that's the album I've been banging and listening to. I
I think everybody has.
Yep.
It's either that or you just listen to Good Luck Babe on repeat all the
just
time.
Peak pop, man. It feels like Cyndi
hyper pop.
Lauper's.
Love it.
Yeah, it's like theatrical too. It's giving Cyndi Lauper, to be honest, and I love that for us. It's like a modern Cyndi Lauper, especially with like her drag that she puts on. I love it so much. I love her. I love that she never appears on stage in the same thing. I love that she shows up to talk shows in like big elaborate like set piece costumes. Like it's giving Cher, it's giving Cher.
She was also in Sabrina Carpenter's Christmas special that's on Netflix.
Oh yes, she is. They sing. Oh, I don't know what song they sing, but I know she's in it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to. They don't sing Hallelujah, do they?
They sang Last Christmas.
Last Christmas. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Also, this is why so many sapphic women ended up on my list this year, because they were all killing it this year.
Yeah, they were.
I feel like we should go through my list at the end of this and just see how many of them were on this list.
The gay women were making bangers this year, man.
They were. They were putting out bangers, or they were doing music festivals and killing every single music festival that they were at.
Yeah, I will also highlight Chapel Roan is amazing live. She is jumping around stage and the quality of her singing does not fail. She specifically talked about how she went through the vocal training that like Beyonce and Lizzo and like Miley Cyrus and Katy Perry have gone through, where they basically like sprint and sing their sets.
Whoa.
And it
You
gives
need that cardio.
Yeah, they do that really strong cardio. And Taylor Swift has done it too, because that's how she was able to maintain the quality of her voice for a 3-hour concert.
And also for a whole year.
Yeah, and you sprint while you sing the songs at full tilt, and it makes your voice stronger. It makes you like your lung capacity better. In Latin America, a lot of our artists start off in like live venues. So in Latin America, we're used to our artists sounding like the record in person. And if you can't do that, you don't have a successful career. In like America, it's slightly different, right? People put out their music and then you might see them live and they're going to sound different. So it's wild to me that like we're getting like record quality work from an American artist. And I think it's amazing. And great job, Chapel.
Well, that's how I feel about Renee Rapp, which is why I've been constantly petitioning for that woman to please give me a live album, because Renee will just jump around on stage just because she just has such high energy and she still sounds so good and so amazing. I think also you were talking about the training, the cardio training. I think Cynthia Erivo did the same training for doing Defying Gravity because she's actually singing while doing stunt work and being thrown around on a broom and stuff. And so in order to keep her voice consistent throughout Defying Gravity so it sounds amazing, she had to do that type of training in order for it to work out. And thank you.
It worked. That training works. She sounds amazing. I just love that Chapel Roan did it before she had to. Do you know what I mean? Like she didn't have to put herself through that yet. Like she could have just put out her music and then sung the way that she sounds and everybody was still eating it up. But the fact that she did that training first and now her quality is like 10 out of 10. Good for her. She sounds amazing live. I love her.
One of the things that I do appreciate about Chapel Roan, which has nothing to do with her music and just everything to do with her as a person, is her bravery to call out like people being weird about her, like just because she's a celebrity. So like the way that they talk to her on red carpets, or like the way that fans treat her dropping out of music festivals just because mentally or emotionally she's just not in a place to perform. Like I like that she's normalizing that behavior. And I've seen people who are complaining about her doing that. And I'm like, well, she's right. You guys are weird.
Yeah. You should be able to take days off.
Yeah, she's a celebrity, but she's still a human being. So like, leave her alone. You shouldn't be stalking her and you shouldn't be talking to her any type of way on the red carpet because she's not an object for you to just consume. She is a person who happens to make music and she happens to make music that you love.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Try to treat her like a human being.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chapel Roan is great. I loved that album that she put out, and Good Luck Babe is on every sapphic edit you can possibly look for. Any sapphic fictional couple, I guarantee you they have an edit to Good Luck Babe.
Because you have to stop the world to stop the feeling, man.
Regina and Janice have so many edits to that song, I promise you.
Anyway, yes. Thank you, Chapel.
Cassie, what's your number 2?
Hello. I would not be surprised if my number 2 gets skipped because my number 2 is Fletcher.
Skip.
Yep.
Hey.
All right.
Is your number 2 Fletcher to me?
So my number 2 is Tori Kelly for her album Tori.
Oh. Ooh.
And also for her Purple Skies tour. I'm so excited. I actually got to see her live this year. I just on a whim decided to go see her live in November when she was at the Will Turn in LA. I've been a fan of Tori Kelly since she was just doing songs on YouTube, before she was a big name artist, before she really had a record deal. I remember the first time I really wanted to see her live in concert. I think I must have been like 21 or 22, and she was performing at the Roxy, I think with Travis Garland the same night, who is another one of my favorite artists. He was on my honorable mentions list. They are two vocalists who I adore and love, and I love everything that they put out. And typically whatever they cover is better than the original artist. But like, I remember wanting to see her live back then, and I couldn't because I had a French class that night. I was in college and I wasn't trying to skip no classes. So I was very disappointed that I wasn't able to see her. So finally, after being a fan of hers for over a decade, I finally gotten to see her live. And my God, that woman has stunning vocals. Like, she's so good live. Also, she's from LA, so it was her hometown show. So it was extra special. There was a point where she stopped singing. The song was over, and literally the entire audience, the crowd, just started cheering for her. But the cheering went on for so long that she looked back at her band, and the band was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, so I feel like this was just the longest applause that she had had during that segment of the show, and it just kept going for so long. And just like, I feel like she emotionally felt that, and especially it was super special because she was at home. I went back and forth over my number 2 and my number 1 for a very, very, very long time. And the only reason I put Tori at number 2 is because about half of the album are songs that I talked about last year for her EP.
Got it.
And I love all of those songs. However, she did put out a deluxe version of the album, and the songs on the deluxe are also extremely good. She has like 4 extra songs on that. So I have 3 songs from the album that are standouts that are songs that I did not talk about last year because they were not on the EP. And then I have 2 songs that came with the deluxe that I really, really like. So the 3 from the album are Thing You Do, amazing, astounding, Also, if Tori Kelly decided that she wanted to dance on your asses tomorrow, the pop girlies would be over. It'd be done. Tori Kelly and Renee Rapp, the two pop girlies who have decided that they don't want to dance full out all the time. And I think they could take it if they tried to, because they are both trained dancers. And Thing You Do is so fun because Tori Kelly dances on that number. And it sounds so good. Produced by John Bellion, who is one of my favorite producers and also a fantastic artist. If you have not heard his music, he's also my brother's all-time favorite music artist. A song called Oceans, it was my favorite ever Tori Kelly song until the deluxe came out. And now I'm debating which one is actually my favorite. But Oceans is beautiful. Same Girl, which is a song about how despite being in the industry for as long as she has been, she's never changed. Nothing about her has wavered. She's still the same girl who was dreaming about winning a Grammy. She's never had to take her clothes off in order for her to be successful. Stuff like that. Nothing about this industry has changed her. And that's rare to find in an industry like this, especially a girl like Tori Kelly who does have no controversy. There is nothing controversial about Tori Kelly, I would argue. And then the two from the deluxe album, I would say Distance, which love that song, heard that song on the deluxe and immediately put it on repeat over and over and over again. It is Fighting with Oceans. That's my favorite Tori Kelly song ever. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And it's about being away from someone that you love and wanting to close that distance and be with that person. It's so great. The other song from the deluxe album that I would also highly recommend is Bottom Line, which features JoJo and just...
I've seen their TikTok.
For years, people have been like, when are we getting a Tori Kelly and JoJo collaboration? Because they're friends. In fact, there was a period of time where it was Tori Kelly and JoJo were friends. JoJo and Travis Garland were friends. Travis Garland and Tori Kelly were friends. And I was my three favorite lesser known artists are good friends. And that should be a recipe for amazingness. But only JoJo and Travis would ever collab. So I'm so happy that we finally got the Tori Kelly and JoJo collaboration, and it's amazing and phenomenal. The bridge is just mostly them showing off with their riffs and stuff like that. And it's so cute because you can hear how much fun they're having recording the song. And I was like, they did this for us. And not only did they do it for us, but they went the hell off. And I'm so happy that they did. I waited years for this collaboration. And it's amazing. It's just as good as I could have imagined it. So my number 2 is Tori Kelly for her album, Tori. It's awesome. If you have not listened to Tori Kelly, please do. She's a phenomenal vocalist, amazing in all that she does. And she's an amazing, amazing, amazing songwriter. That takes us to our number 1s, Dallas.
Woo! We did it. We made it. Woo!
We did it. Almost. All right, audience, if you don't know my number 1, then you don't know me at all. You have not been paying attention. My number 1 is Kendrick Lamar, because of course it is.
Skippy.
It's not a skip. You guys both have Kendrick Lamar as your number 1s.
We don't have a 0.
Let's talk about Kendrick.
Also, I'm
my number 1 too.
I'm really disappointed in myself because Kendrick was supposed to be on my list somewhere, and I spent so much time trying to rearrange this that I forgot to put him on it.
Oh, it's giving me and Beyonce.
Exactly.
I'm glad you had her though. I'm really glad we got.
And I'm glad you two obviously have Kendrick Lamar because I love that album so much.
Of course. Yeah. So first things first. My top 3 are all from LA, and I love that because
good for you.
If there's a year for your top 3 to be in LA, it's going to be the year that freaking GNX comes out. And Kendrick made just the most West Coast album.
Yeah.
As well as the most West Coast disc track in the longest time.
Yeah. Don't say you hate LA when you don't travel past
They not like us.
Yeah. So Kendrick put out a surprise album, GNX. He put out a litter of diss tracks against Drake.
He started the year with diss tracks. No, he started out with the fuck the big 3. It's just Big Me.
That is a diss track.
Exactly. Which is pretty much a diss track, and then it just everything changed.
What I like about this though is it feels like we saw a sleeping giant wake up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people were like, after that last album, Kendrick's good, but is Kendrick really mainstream anymore? And it felt like he was like, this album was for me. Now let me give y'all something, or here, let me shut you up a little bit.
Yeah, what I've been seeing a lot is Kendrick went to therapy and healed just so we could come back more hateful.
Exactly.
Also, I thought it was interesting because when the diss tracks were coming out, there were a lot of people who were like, if he doesn't release an album off this momentum, what's the point? And he did, and it's a really good album.
Yeah.
He did, just what a year he had.
Mm-hmm.
Also, nobody really knew what Kendrick would do in a beef because Kendrick can rap very well. We all knew that, but he wasn't a rapper who really gets in the beef.
We didn't know he could put out numbers like that. Remember when he released within a couple hours like a couple songs or something. I was like, he's already dead. Like, stop.
I don't think he would have stopped either if Drake had not just folded. Like, I think he would have just kept releasing like a new song daily for a long time.
100%. We were gonna be eating for days if Drake hadn't
We were gonna have months of entertainment.
What a rap beef this is. Like, I've never seen a diss track that gets played on like TV at the NBA games. Like, they're going to commercial, they're playing Not Like Us. Like the Dodgers.
They play at the
Not Like
Dodgers.
Us.
They play at NBA games. They played it football games.
Like, this is a song calling this man a pedophile, and it's everywhere.
He played it six times in a row at his concert for Juneteenth.
That was amazing. The cover art is like the pedophile, like when you Google pedophiles and they come up
Right,
red, and it's Drake's house.
It's insane. Like, this
wild.
The strategic evil of this man.
I love it, dude. A show the week of Father's Day in Toronto, baby diabolical. That's like he learned to be mean from middle school girls.
Not only did Kendrick give us a great album, but he did show us how diabolical he can truly be.
And I love it. Good for him. Good for him. Also, I just generally, like I said, it just feels like a sleeping giant woke up and he reminded us why we call him a giant. He reminded us why he could put out hits and has a Pulitzer. Like,
right. Like, I can make hits. Even like every one of the diss tracks hits a different check mark. Like, yeah, I'm going to do the radio hit. I'm going to do the one where I just rap about how bad you are. I'm going to do Meet the Grams, which is just a terrifying. The first line of that song is, "Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest." At that point, everybody was like, okay, this is a different kind of person.
Also,
I hate the way that you walk.
I hate the way that you talk. I love that. Literally, I saw a video where it was a white man in a fucking tweed sweater, like blazer with elbow pads, with his glasses on, breaking down Kendrick lyrics and talking about how he was like, Drake, what are you talking about here? He told us where Whitney was, and he like quoted. I was like,
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I watched that guy. If you're talking about Professor Sky, shout out to him, because he's a great like academic middle-aged white dude who breaks down hip-hop, and he's great.
He's so good. He reads it like you would read Shakespeare or like any other like literature.
Yeah, and he has the same reverence that most academics have for like standard literature that's historical, blah blah blah. But like, he's like, yeah, this is an art form, we should treat it as such.
My favorite bit was he took off the glasses. He was like, Drake, and I was like, Drake lost. This white man had to take off his reading glasses. Anyway, my standouts of this year for Kendrick were obviously Not Like Us. I love TV Off. I love Luther, and Dodger Blue is my favorite song.
Great song.
And I've hung out with a lot of transplants, and I've seen a lot of LA hate and a lot of California hate. And especially when somebody moves here and they only stay in like a very small area and they try to tell me or anybody else that grew up here what LA is, I'm like, baby, absolutely not.
Don't say you hit LA if you don't
exactly. That really it really resonated with me, and I love it so much. Let me know what your standouts are.
It's so weird because like at first it was just, all the diss tracks, but even going from the album Whacked Out Miros to start the album was fantastic. Dude. Squabble Up is the song that I was waiting for and came out, and I was worried that it wouldn't, so I was very happy for that.
So good.
Reincarnated is like, Kendrick is like getting in his like narrative artsy bag where he tells a story about like various musicians over the decades who struggled with this problem and that problem, and then ends with a conversation between Lucifer and God, and like how Kendrick has kind of both of them inside him, and it's like, I did all these things to reunite. I'm trying to think of the line he says, but like, I tried to bring peace to the hood, and God says, but you love war. And it's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's trying to bring peace to LA.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like he has all of these different sides of him that even without all of the diss tracks, just this album would have been enough for him to be on the album.
Yeah. It's a very good album.
It was my number one album. This album came out in November, right?
Yeah, late November.
And it's my number one listened to album of the year.
Jeez. Even though Kendrick is not on my list, he should be. And my standouts are Squabble Up, TV Off featuring Lefty Gunplay, and Dodger Blue featuring Wally the Sensei, Siete 7X, and Roddy Ricch. Those three songs, I love those three. Also can attest to the fact that this album is really good gym workout listening to.
Nice.
TV Off came on while I was at the gym the other day, and I was like, oh, I gotta switch albums. Now I gotta go listen to GNX while I work out.
Dude, you probably like a sprint to TV Off. Like, dun, dun,
I'm not much of a sprinter. I'm more of a bike person. But I was working on my triceps.
Pedaling.
I was working on my triceps to TV Off. Also, the day that this album came out, I had to make a drive out to Inglewood. And when I tell you that made listening to the album even better, because I was like, you know what? I have to drive out to LA today anyway. Let me just wait until I actually have to make this drive and I'll listen to Kendrick. And it was perfect.
Nice.
Perfect timing.
Also, I want to say he low-key, like he teased a track, and that track is not on this album. So I'm hoping there's
It's not on the
another
album.
surprise album or maybe some more drops.
Well, people,
I'm like-
I have seen theories that this is a mixtape and not necessarily an album. I don't know the difference. So
Oh, well, I think that comes from The Heart is usually not on his albums. The Heart,
Yeah,
when he
I have
drops
heard
a
that.
Heart part. So, yeah. Love him. SZA is an extension of this. Thank you so much, SZA.
Yes,
You were amazing
love
in
SZA.
this. I love you so much. Your album, SOS, should have been on my list 2 years ago, but it wasn't. Dude, was she the mole in Drake's camp? Was she? Love her. She's
That's another thing I love about Kendrick is that his music comes with fan theories because he's so like people love him so much and he thinks about everything.
is he the hip hop version of Taylor Swift?
low key. It's giving that.
He must be.
Yeah, because
And
I
I don't
just
know
brought
enough
up like
about Taylor Swift to know what that means.
That's why he was able to do that Bad Blood remix with her. They just understand each other on a
Yeah,
different
he's like
level.
Easter eggs. Me too, boo.
We both have lore. And
Yeah, dude, for real. Oh God, love Kendrick. Love him so much. Thank you so much, Kendrick. I didn't get tickets to your show, and I'm deeply sad.
Oh,
Even when I had the hookup,
you tried.
because everybody else pounced, man. They pounced.
My homie got
Yeah, they do.
tickets. She is going in Seattle, I think, in Washington.
Damn.
Nice.
That was probably smart for her to do, to try to get Kendrick tickets in that state. Probably the spot to do it.
Yeah, LA is going to go very fast.
Yeah, LA did go very fast. And it has like more nights, but yeah.
Keep an
It's
eye
okay,
out.
I'll
Maybe
go.
he'll add more LA nights. Some
Yeah,
artists do
I'd
that.
have the hookup for those two. Maybe.
Cassie, who was your number one?
My number one is Mariana's Trench, because if they put out an album, they're going to be my number one. That's just how it works. They put out an album called Haven, and it is phenomenal, as all of their work is. It even gets a pass for me because it is technically following the hero's journey, and I hate the hero's journey, but you know what? I'll give them this one. Mainly because, like, that first track, it's not about being trans, but it's about being trans. It's not, but it is. It's called A Normal Life. Come on, what are we doing here? Anyway, shit. Some Canadians are worth keeping around. Some.
Wow.
A lot of them are.
Man.
Am I wrong?
Probably most.
I get it.
Am I wrong?
Are you going to look at
There's
me and tell me
definitely
that
at least
I'm
one
wrong?
who is not.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
there's just one.
But fair.
I don't.
Well,
I
maybe
can't
two.
think of other Canadians whose houses have been used as album covers for, associated with pedophilia. So, anyway.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean.
Fair.
That was unnecessary, and I'm not sorry about it because it's Drake.
And you shouldn't be.
No.
I would like to say that the opinions of these other people on this podcast do not represent me in any way, shape, or form. Just for the
Dude,
future,
I said years ago.
just for the future sake of my career.
I said years ago.
Disclaimer.
Me
I've been
trying to
saying
get
it.
on that Degrassi reboot.
Hey man, Drake produces
like, "Don't you
television
judge
shows,
me."
so
He does. Doesn't he produce Euphoria? I'm not
He
surprised that he
does.
would produce
Yeah,
that.
he produces shows about teenage girls.
Well,
having
no,
Not
sex.
he
surprised that
also-
he produced that.
He also produced Top Boy, which is another one of my favorite shows.
Heard good things about that
Yeah,
one.
Top Boy is great.
from Demi specifically.
Yes.
That's true. And I found out about that show through my dad. Anyway, my number one is Fletcher for her album In Search of the Antidote, as well as the tour that goes along with it. I went to see her on tour 2 days after my birthday. That was my other birthday concert. And she was phenomenal. She's great. Also, on top of that, she literally just released, when this comes out, it'll have been a few weeks since she released it, but The Antidote, which is her live album from the concert tour live from Radio City Hall in New York City. Fletcher is awesome. What's funny is I discovered Fletcher on Instagram before I actually listened to her music. She would just pop up on my algorithm.
Excuse you. I put you onto her. I sent you at least one of her songs, and I guess you didn't give a shit.
I don't remember
I
you doing
discovered her
that.
on Instagram. Nigga, yes, I did.
When did
I
you
put
do
you
that?
onto her. I put you onto Renee Rapp.
You did put me
I
onto
you
Renee
onto
Rapp.
people, and you don't know.
When did
you don't give me the
hold
credit.
on. When did you send me the Fletcher song? Because it might
Goodness
depend.
gracious.
Oh
I love
God,
this.
I don't know. I mean, when I might have sent you more than one, and if I sent you more than one, then it's got to be at least more than a year ago, because I put
Don't
you
remember that.
on
Anyway,
the disrespect.
We started talking about
The
Kendrick and Cassie went off.
yeah. So Cassie apparently put me on. I don't remember that happening, which fair. Cassie
I'm
doesn't
gonna put out
remember.
Not Like Cassie in a few months.
Hey.
Get ready.
Hey, Cassie also doesn't remember a lot of things that I have also said that she's done. So we're even now.
Fair. Fair.
But I do think it's funny that I saw an Instagram post that she did like in January and I liked it and then kept moving on about my life. But I didn't listen to her like for real until Pride Month because I had heard a lot about her, mostly because I now run in the Renee Rapp pop circles, which means that Fletcher is definitely going to come up in conversation. And she's so great. I specifically really love her songwriting. I like went through basically every song that she's ever made over the last few months. And one of my favorite things about going through all of her music is that you can hear when she's found her sound. There's like an EP where I'm like, yeah, this is Fletcher, but it doesn't have like her songwriting like signature on it. Like it doesn't quite feel like her yet. And then as the further you go along with her music, the more you can hear her in it. I think this album is my favorite piece of music that she's put out as a full project. Talking about her songwriting, one of my favorite things that like she put out like a reel or like a TikTok or something that says verses were written by Fletcher. The chorus was written by Carrie. Her first name is Carrie. Her last name is Fletcher. She said this about a song called Doing Better, which makes sense because I like the idea of Fletcher being the more unhinged side of her and Carrie being the more introspective side because, oh boy, this girl is unhinged and chaotic.
That's fair. If you listen to like, I don't know if it's called This One's for Carrie, but that song, the last song on her last album is like really like, I'm gonna live my life for me, and it's really like inspirational. And then this one's like, yeah, we just fucked for 6 hours. Like they're very different vibes.
Fletcher is a different side of Fletcher. Carrie is also a very different side of Fletcher. But I like that she put out that TikTok though, because if you look at the lyrics, it makes sense. Like the second verse of the song is, your girlfriend never thanked me for making her go viral. Fuck it, I'm her idol. I get sad and spiral. Yeah, I'll buy a new whip, but you'll never see me take the high road, which is like wild because it's so petty. Like the verses on Doing Better are so petty. But then the second chorus for it is, I'm doing better. I don't know if you remember when I told you in December that you wouldn't recognize me. After the glow up, I was learning how to grow up, had a wet dream. Then I woke up, I was on a stage with Miley. I felt like I was flying. I felt the stars aligning. I always thought that if I ever got this high, I'd like it. I'm doing better. I've been looking for my center, but my tummy still hurts. Why does better feel worse? That's so introspective because it's like, here's all the things that are going well in my life after this breakup. Everything's going great. I'm doing so much better without you. But also, this still sucks and it still hurts so bad. Why do I still miss you? But also, I appreciate Fletcher for giving us more hot girls with tummy ache representation, because her and Renee Rapp with tummy hurts telling us that these girls, their tummies be hurting. Ooh, girl.
It's giving cheaty.
But I love that. I just love her songwriting style. It feels very authentic and it feels very honest. I feel like there are certain artists who, when they write their own music, like some music artists, like you listen to their music and you like the music, but you don't really feel like you're learning anything about them, but you can still relate to it. It's just like, it might not feel like it's about them. Whereas I feel like Fletcher's music, when I listen to what she's written, it feels like I'm actually getting a piece of her and I'm understanding her as a person, or at least whatever side of her that she's allowing me to understand about her. Like Doing Better, for instance, like that is a song that I'm like, oh, I get it. You're really petty and you're a little unhinged, but also you're still pretty introspective and you're pretty self-aware about like when you've done wrong or like when you're not feeling good about things. I love Maybe I Am. The chorus on that, like she's like, you say that I'm a crazy bitch, I'm sick, I'm permanently numb. You say that I'm a narcissist, as if I haven't heard that one. You say I'm ruining my life on purpose just because I am. And then she goes, maybe I am. And I'm just like, ooh, that's very honest of you. I love ego talking. There's the thing about ego talking that I really love is the part that she always sings right before the chorus. So she always has like a question right before. So like one of them is like, you'll never fuck somebody hotter, right? And there's like another one where she's like, she's just another seat filler, right? And I think the end of the song is, and you'll never love somebody else, right? I was like, I get this on like a level of, I'm still kind of in love with you and I really don't want you to move on from me though, but that's just my ego talking. I can't stand the idea of you with somebody else, but it's because of my ego and not much else. I think this whole album is just like such a well-written album. I like the way that she writes. But my standouts from In Search of the Antidote are Maybe I Am, Ego Talking, and Crush. But this is an album that I feel like probably has no skips on it. I could listen to this album all day. And the live album is also really, really good. And I get to relive going to the concert every single time I listen to it. So, yay me. Cassie, do you have any standouts from that album?
I mean, the last track is
Antidote is really good.
God, it's incredible. Like, all of her music is good, but that one just like, she put something in that one that is, oh God, it's the best.
Yeah. The moment I knew that Fletcher is like kind of unhinged, not kind of, very unhinged, was when I heard Becky So Hot, which is from her last album. Becky So Hot is about her ex-girlfriend's girlfriend at the time. And I remember listening to that song and being like, girl, the very least you could have done is change her name in the song. Why'd you use her real name?
That's crazy. That's diabolical. That's wild.
The chorus is like, are you in love like we were? If I were you, I'd probably keep her. Makes me want to hit her when I see her. Becky So Hot in your vintage t-shirt. Oh, she's the one I should hate, but I want to know how she tastes. I kind of want to hit her when I see her. Becky So Hot in your vintage t-shirt.
That's crazy.
That's diabolical.
That's
but
wild.
She has since come out and said that if she could go back, she would change. She would go back and like either not write the song or she would change the lyrics to the song. Like she would do something differently about the way she handled it.
Okay? Is what I need to know.
She seems to be okay right now. But
Okay.
the songs that she writes about her exes are, I feel them. I said there is like there is a certain level of honesty in her music, and I feel the same way about like Renee Rapp. Like there is a level of authenticity and honesty where you know that this is definitely coming straight from her heart. This is absolutely about her life. When she performed Doing Better live, at the end of it, she added a verse to Doing Better where she talks about how if she could go back, she would change it. And she was like, I guess to that I should thank you for letting me go psycho. I hit you with a low blow. Baby, it's just promo. If I could write that song again, I would. And like that's not on like the official record, but you can hear it on the live recording of her concert.
Okay.
She's very cool, which is why she's my #1 artist of the year. I listened to her so freaking much. Apple Music was like, you definitely listen to her a good 2,000 minutes more than your #2 artist, which is Renee Rapp. But again, I feel like that minute count was inaccurate because they did not account for all the times I listened to the Mean Girl soundtrack this year. So, so yeah, my #1 artist is Fletcher, and that is the end of our top 10 for favorite music artists of 2024.
Woo!
We did it.
Yay!
God, this episode is so long.
It is.
Music. Thank you. If you made it through this feature-length podcast episode, we appreciate you for listening to all of it.
We only talk about
You
music
were a real
every
one.
so often.
Woo!
Yeah, like I said earlier, it don't happen a lot. So when it happens, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crown Digital, as always. Brandon and Io putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, providing our Beehive representation, because I feel like it's important to have that
It is.
in today's society.
I apologize again to
At least to not be attacked. Yeah, for sure.
So,
We don't want to be attacked.
I'm so sorry, babe.
Speaking of being attacked, Cassie, thank you for introducing us to the concept of heavy pop at the risk of getting into it with the Seattle-based band and arguing with them about their genre. I hope you're not attacked, but be safe out there.
Thanks. I actually have to go to Seattle next year, or later this year.
Ooh.
So I'll let you know if I get
Safe,
jumped.
girl.
Don't get jumped out there. Gabby, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about Jermaine Cole
You're welcome.
Jermaine.
and joining me in our Kendrick Love Fest. Jermaine.
Man, I don't even.
As always, you guys can reach us in the comments, or you can hit us on Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk to me about various forms of verbally insulting people with music, be it LA based or Bikini Bottom based, you can find me on Instagram at a king named Simba.
If you want to talk to me about the pop girlies, you can talk to me on the Instagrams at Story. If you also want to talk to me about Kendrick, I love a hater. Come talk to me about Kendrick on Instagrams at Stegostoria.
Kendrick is who he becomes when he finally like puts the rap down and he does like Frank Sinatra numbers.
Kendrick Lamar.
Goodness, what a typo.
Kendrick Lamont, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Anyway, come recommend Black women to listen to in any genre. I don't give a shit. Just all of them.
Doji.
Okay, I got you. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Sassy Soothsayer.
Oh, I'm on Blue Sky now too, at Stegostoria.
Hey guys, my list consists of at least 7 sapphic women. So come talk to me
Good
about
for you, Demi.
all these awesome sapphic pop artists and Broadway singers and all sorts of just beautiful artists, or recommend me more. You guys can just tell me those in the comments down below. I'm not really doing social media right now. So yeah, tell me in the comments and I will check them out. And maybe, just maybe, I'll talk about it on the podcast. Ooh. Oh, and that's it. Thank you guys for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. We will be talking about our most anticipated movies of 2025. We are done with our recaps and we will be looking towards the future to see what this year has to offer us.
Yes, we will. And I can't wait. I love movies. Yay. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so this question is for everyone. If it didn't require weird AI software and you could hear a diss track from any cartoon character, who would it be?
That's so hard.
I feel like we've done this question before.
I think we did it the last time that our audio got messed up and I didn't get to keep it.
Ooh.
I don't remember who I
don't remember our
said.
answers.
Which cartoons?
I want to see somebody from Arcane do a diss track.
I thought about that.
They would have so many good ones.
I want to see Muffin from Bluey do a diss track because she's a really angry little baby dog.
All right.
I feel as though with the many years of his life in isolation that Quasimodo could draw some heat.
Yo,
For sure.
especially against what's his face or what's the name of that? Frollo. Frollo could drop some heat
I think I just thought of an amazing one.
What's
The
that?
Cabbage Man from The Last Airbender.
Yo,
I'm glad that you said that because my answer was going to be Team Avatar doing a posse cut against Ozai.
Yo.
So that whole world, lots
I
of
want
diss
the
tracks.
Cabbage Man to absolutely obliterate
He has
those
some things
children.
to say.
Yep.
He hates the way that they walk, the way that they talk.
He hates the way that they dress. Hates the way that they sneak diss and destroy his cart every episode. My cabbages.